just a bloke in a bar?
Have you not fought a bloke in a week or something?
Do you boys want to thrash it out?
I don't thrash it out.
Who'd win?
Physically, I think I'd probably have
Who
him,
would win?
I
but
reckon Tom's got a bit in him.
it's the broadness of my shoulders is like
Who would
a
win
good
if it's a
fulcrum
fight to
point.
the death?
I think I'd win.
It's all on the line.
Yeah.
I think he's got something in him. There's
It's just this broad. The broadness of the shoulders means I can pin you down, and then even if it's more just about like I might have to pin you here until you starve to death. Like I'm not going to be able to kill you.
How would you
necessarily.
counter the underhooks?
Oh, you got to fight the hands. You got to sprawl, Eddie. You got to
Sprawl?
sprawl. Yeah.
I reckon you got a sprawl in you.
I've got a sprawl in me. Well, I'm an old back rower from rugby union days, so it's like I had a good sprawl, a good base.
You could sprawl with
when
the
I was
best of them?
pilfering the ball and shit.
You could pilfer? Were you sprawler or pilferer?
Well, you sprawl when you pilfer.
Yeah, right. So you sprawl into a pilfer.
Got to have a good strong base on you. Really good.
I didn't think you were a nut stealer.
By trade, wasn't the best, but I was.
Were you a 6 or a 7?
I was a 6. But you got to be able to pilfer when you're a 6 as well. Like it's still part of the job.
But it's not the job.
It's not my only job.
Yeah.
You something to add to your bag.
I'm a bit more versatile, probably you could say.
Jack of all trades.
Yeah. I could pilfer if I needed
But
to.
not like Jack.
But not Jack.
Like I'm like Jack, but you're the Jack of all trades.
Well, you're not like Jack.
Can you paint? Can you draw like Jack?
I think I could pull something off.
Until you paint me or draw me.
Yeah.
Then.
Like a French girl.
Like if you draw me like a French girl, then.
You believe it?
I will start to think about it, yeah.
Start to think about it.
Yeah.
So you get nude for me?
Yeah. For content, I will, yeah.
Yeah.
I wear like a little hat or something over my
Or
dick.
you
couch
put like
over
a pillow over your cock. Something, just
I was going to
dainty.
dress it up like a little fascinator or something.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
A fascinator.
You're a classy guy,
Or
that's
put like one
classy.
of those long arm gloves on. You know what I mean? Like a nice silk glove on it.
On my rod. Yep.
I reckon you'd probably
With a
pop the shaft
fascinator.
in there as well.
I'm still on this fascinator yarn. I could put a glove into a fascinator maybe.
Yeah, fascinator on top.
Yeah.
On top of the pubes.
I was thinking about fascinators the other day. Surely they're called fascinators because it makes the wearer more fascinating.
It's an interesting. I mean, surely.
I don't know. They don't serve a purpose because they don't block sun.
Well, they make you look more mysterious, maybe more sexy, depending on the wearer.
But you can't
Depending
call
on the fascinator.
Some fascinators are off.
Some way off.
Some
Like lime green.
Yeah. Well, the color itself, but just generally like a fascinator. Not all fascinators are created equal.
No, they're not. We've always known that. It's an old adage.
It is.
Not all fascinators are created equal, Denon. Someone's got that tattooed on them.
And I think it'd be
Think
fair.
about that.
Fair too.
It'd probably someone in our audience, some dribbler. If they haven't, they're getting it.
Down the spine.
How would it happen? Like, so it's just like a normal hat, and someone's gone, "Wow, that's fascinating." Or,
Well, it's not quite a hat, though, is it?
It's a hat with holes in it.
well, that's I guess.
Well,
that's,
it's got the front thing.
That's what it is. That's more the. That's
It's
the
more the, like-
fascinating bit.
But I
Like,
assume
unless it covers the eyes, I don't know if it's technically classed as a fascinator. You'd have to get the rules in.
But that's what I mean. Like the first one would have assumed that's a hat, but it's not. That's fascinating. You know?
As in,
I'm fascinated. What the
by
fuck are you
what
wearing?
you're wearing.
Because
Yeah.
like
What the
like,
fuck's
I've
that?
only seen a hat before, and that kind of is a hat, but it's not. That's fascinating. They're going, well, it's actually called a fascinator. That could have been something that happened.
What do you think it was called before someone said it was fascinating? Thus.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's not chicken or the egg. I think that someone had to remark, "Damn, it's a fascinating hat." And yeah, well, it's actually not a hat. So
It's
what is it?
probably, maybe it was like, it was on a runway where it first debuted and some writer was like, that fucking show was fascinating.
Or the designer came up with it. There could just be that person who goes, "You know what? This is called a fascinator. Why? Because no one knows what it is."
Who
It's
invented the
fucking-
fascinator, Matt?
I am on. I'll get that in a sec, but you are right. It's derived from the Latin word fascinare, to fascinate.
Which means fascinating.
Look,
Yeah.
I'm not surprised I'm right.
Sorry, what was your previous question, Eddie?
Who invented the fascinator?
What about hats that like have just been called fascinating that aren't fascinators? You know what I mean? Like, oh, that's a fascinating hat. Someone would have said that.
Yeah, they probably would. I reckon the first time someone saw a visor, they might have been like, that thing's missing a whole top of it. That's fascinating. But not a fascinator.
Visors they're in they're a league of their own.
They're wild.
You remember when
choice.
it was cool, and not like me cool, but like Offspring cool, or like fucking, Blink-182 Days cool, and
Yeah.
they'd wear like visors upside down.
Lincoln Park,
Enema of the State cool.
Enema of the State cool, visors upside down and to the side, like
like that.
Holy
yeah,
shit.
that was like peak fucking
Early
American
2000s.
Pie
Yeah.
sort of.
Stifler's mom.
Stifler's mum.
Yeah. Blink.
Stacey's
Offspring.
mum has got it going on.
Yeah,
Sum
yeah.
41.
Animal Ant Farm, Smooth Criminal.
Yeah. That was really good shit. Those were good times.
They were good times. Did you ever
whiskey.
wear a visor with like an SMP belt? Sex Money Pal.
I had I had multiple SMP belts. Red, green, yellow.
Did you let it hang down the front?
Did it stand
fuck
for
yeah,
Sex
dude.
Money Pal?
Sex Money Pal, yeah.
That was legit?
That was it.
Yeah.
And you had to have it hanging low.
Real low.
Yeah, real low. Real
Baggy
low.
pants.
The lower the more of a
The
menu.
lower the cooler.
The lower the better.
Yeah.
Like an SMP belt into some baggy
That clip.
Billabong denim shorts into
Or
some
some-
suede Pumas and
Yeah.
and a Hawaiian shirt and you will get a root.
Yeah.
Oh,
Also,
man.
though, what you did leave out was the wallet chain. Wallet.
I never
chain.
had the wallet chain onto the Velcro.
Onto
the
a Velcro
Velcro
wallet.
sticky.
Yeah.
I had the Velcro sticky. I just didn't
course.
have the chain.
I didn't have
I
the chain.
I had
Chain
a
was a
chain.
bit much for me.
had nothing
chain.
in it, so I wasn't that worried about
I
losing.
remember.
Well, no, neither did I, but it was about having a chain connected to your
Of
wallet.
course you had a chain. Is that when you were a bit bigger?
No, it's John is young. I mean, what the fuck's that got to do with it, you son of a bitch? Maybe I was, maybe I wasn't. I was 12. Like,
We can
was I-
assume you
know,
were.
you thicken
But
up.
I'm just saying, like
you
a
thicken
chubby
up before
kid,
puberty.
a chubby kid with the SMP belt
Yeah,
and the
yeah,
chain's
yeah.
pretty
Yeah.
funny.
Well, listen,
Drinking
I was
Monster
probably chubby.
Energy.
I didn't really probably chub up till like maybe 13, 14, you know, before the growth spurt. Then I got skinny and hot.
Yeah.
And then I got
Skinny and hot.
into my 20s, early 20s, skinny and hot, mid 20s. Oh, he's starting to thicken. Late 20s. Oh, he's big. Oh, damn. 31, 32, he's 105 kilos and he's waddling around the house. Can't run downstairs for fear of getting hit in the face by one of his tits.
I remember I bought a red Billabong hat and I wore it, I think back to front because I thought it looked cool. And the hot chick at athletics said she liked the hat. And it made me feel so fucking cool for so long. Like I was like, I'm fucking killing it, bro. And I wore that hat until it was like just a shadow of itself, an absolute
All
shadow.
colour
of itself.
drained from it.
Yeah, all colour. It was a red Billabong hat, and I thought I was so fucking cool. And as we know, I don't look good in hats, so like.
Well, I think that you don't back it. I mean, you never worn a Hello Sport hat. I think you look very good in one of those. I had you remember Fred Durst of Limp Bizkit fame used to wear the red Yankees New Era caps. I got one. I always wanted one. I fucking love Limp Bizkit, and so I got one, but it wasn't like the real flexy fit. You know, the stretchy one. It was like, for whatever reason, not a real one, like a budget fucking hat.
Cheap one from
Cheap.
Paddy's Market.
Yes, probably was Paddy's Markets.
Yeah.
Where you could get like pocket knives at 8. And it was so tight, but I wanted to wear it so bad that I would wear it and I'd get headaches because like blood wasn't moving around my head enough. But I was like, fuck this, dude. I look like Fred Durst. I'm wearing it.
Oh my god! Did you ever write like "I love whoever like your crush was" on the inside under the brim
Not on the hat.
on a hat?
No, not on a hat.
Yeah.
Why on a hat?
Don't know.
do
Double
that?
thing.
Oh, yeah.
Holy shit!
Not
Wait,
on a
That's
pencil
romantic.
case?
That's romantic. That's romantic.
Or your pencil case?
I would have written
which was
somewhere
like,
before.
which was. Did you tell me you had a pencil case that was like
Made of
wetsuit
wetsuit.
material? Yeah. You're probably too old for that. You're 40, mate.
Yeah. He was still using quills and shit.
You still had that thing where it's like put your name in, Dennett.
Yeah, but also like probably writing with like an inkwell.
Yeah. Get your quills out.
Oh,
But no,
fuck.
certainly didn't write "I love whomever" on my hat.
On your hat, it's very specific.
Underneath the brim.
Just
So
to
what
like
sort of- you
always
would-
look up and
I
know.
know in whiteout, presumably, if it's like a black
I think
brim.
it was Texter. Was it? Well, like, I mean, that assumes that the hat was black.
Yeah.
They're not.
No, they're not. No. Again, I know
You know
that,
what I
but I
mean.
just mean like, was it a whiteout situation? Do you remember?
I think it was a baby, a pen or a
Who was
pencil.
it?
I think it was Katie Brown.
Shout out to Katie.
Shout out
out
to Katie
Katie
Brown,
Brown,
and
yeah.
I don't think Katie Brown in media too. We're talking about a different Katie Brown.
Different Katie Brown.
Different Katie
Okay.
Brown.
So
Yeah.
shout out to different Katie Brown. Shout out. Wonder what she's. I mean, she's probably looking going. He's a rock star now.
Oh wow.
Oh, do you reckon?
Yeah,
Do you
Where's
reckon
that
she's
hat?
thinking I'm a rock star now?
100%.
I'll take it.
Hey.
If you're throwing out rock star, I'll take it. But
all those ladies.
jeez, I don't know.
It's a long bow.
All
I think
those-
it's one of the longest bows you've ever fucking drawn.
all those ladies that turned us down. Look at us now. Look at us now. Absolute rock star.
Right, rock stars. Yeah.
Rock stars. Yeah. Rock stars.
We talk about-
Self-proclaimed rock stars.
I don't think there's a single chick ever that's turned me down that's regretted it. You know what I mean? Like I'm being serious.
As in, like they've turned you down and then they've just gone, thank God.
Like I've never gone. You know how like there are some men that walk around with many women that regret, you know, being with them, whatever.
Yep.
I'm the
Sure.
opposite of that, I think. I think most women are like, that was a fucking good call.
Or they just didn't give it a second thought.
Yeah,
even
never
worse.
even
Yeah,
thought about
even
it.
worse.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
just never crossed their mind again. So they didn't
They
even
actually forgot that it happened.
Well, they didn't think to regret it
No,
because it's not a thought they've had.
no,
again.
it just happened, and then they
Yeah.
kept on living.
It was a
their
moment of their
lives.
life. Yeah, they got home and they said that was weird, and that was it.
Maybe that's why I'm so much like Jack now, because like I've experienced rejection. I know what real love is.
You know what someone pointed
Well-
out? It's not. It's like Jack, you know, and Robin Williams is like the 40-year-old kid. Remember that when Robin Williams has the aging disease and he basically becomes like a granddad inside of 6 years?
It was a meme on the
that's
Punters and
the
Dribblers
Jack
page.
that they're talking about.
There's a small segment
Punters
of
and
the
Dribblers think that
community.
he's basically like an 80-year-old Robin Williams who's actually 6.
But there is a large segment of people that believe there's a bit of Jack about me. I've got a lot of evidence to back that up.
Yeah, but not a large. Like, you know, you're
Large
obviously it's
percentage.
confirmation bias. You're looking for any little leg up. But if you look at sort of like the total number of people who exist and then the amount of people who are saying you're Jack, it's actually almost non-existent. It's probably the margin for error.
You know what would have been
accounting.
fucking perfect? Is if Fox Studios still had the Titanic set there. Do you remember that? Like the late 90s when they had the Fox Studios back? Something?
I just remember the
Whatever.
Titanic thing there.
They had the Titanic ride set up there. You could go first class, you could go third class. First class, you get saved. Third class, you die. You could go there, and we could have
Put you in third
created
class.
all the scenes.
And you've
Just
gotta
see
try
if
and
you've
get
got
out.
Jack in you or not.
Oh, mate, I got
you
it.
leaning over the thing, being like, you know.
And actually die in real life.
Well, seeing if you'd be able to make it from third
Well,
class
can you
to
hack
first
it?
class and then
I'm
die.
getting a first class.
Can you hack it or
Boys,
not?
come on, let's go. I'm getting a first class.
Fuck. That annoys me. We're like 15 years late. Maybe 20.
Bring it back.
Bring it back.
Let us know in the
Cameron.
comments section. Do I have a bit of Jack about me, or are these boys just fucking? Are they right? Are they right?
I mean, look, you've got to sort of, you're in your audience here. You know,
No,
You've
no.
got to
It's just
apologise.
answer honestly.
Answer honestly.
Be honest.
Just be honest. If you're honest and it's overwhelming, then I'll think about accepting it if he paints me.
Yeah, he's got to paint Eddie still.
Well, I've got a fascinator on.
His cock.
2 fascinators.
2, yeah. I like that.
Yeah.
Double fascinating.
Double fascinator. Doubly fascinated.
I don't think anyone's done a double. That's a big play.
And you've got to wear the heart of the sea around your neck, Eddie.
Yes. Yes. The heart of the sea, the double fascinator, real rock star vibes.
Yeah.
Rockstar vibes. Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of girls regretting then when they see that picture.
Oh, yeah.
I'll be lining back up.
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another episode of Bloke in a Bar, brought to you by the smoothest Christmas lager in all the land. Also, huge announcement. Remember our Bloke shorts that sold out in like 5 minutes? They are being put back up. We've got restocked the Bloke shorts in brown, black and grey. Next Wednesday, 6 p.m. New South Wales time. Well, actually, daylight savings has ended by then.
It will have.
It will. So it's just 6 p.m. No more dramas. Next Wednesday,
Australian Eastern time.
Australian Eastern time, 6 p.m. The shorts are back. Again,
Standard time? Australian Eastern Standard Time?
AEST.
D.
Yep.
Yep. Okay.
AEST.
AEST.
Yeah, yeah.
Australian Eastern Standard Time.
Yeah.
Okay. Or just 6 p.m. Australian time?
Not
Hell
Australian
no,
time.
West Australia, bro.
Well, I mean, come on.
And South Australia.
And South Australia,
guys,
bro.
come on.
And hey, Australian Eastern Standard Time,
Come on.
AEST,
Look,
as opposed to AEDT, Australian Eastern Daylight Time.
That's Australian Eastern Daylight Savings Time. AEDST.
No, it's not. It's just AEDT, and then
you sure?
AEST. Yeah, I'm
Daylight
sure.
savings? I think you're wrong. AEDAST.
I think it's
whatever.
Australian Eastern Daylight Time and Australian Eastern Standard Time. That's what I think.
Shit, I don't know. What is it then on the West Coast? Australian
Who cares
Western, AW.
Who cares time?
Yeah.
WCT.
So 6 p.m. New South Wales, Queensland, and Victoria time.
Yeah.
The shorts will be back. Limited supply, so obviously be there at 6 p.m. It's going to be open for everyone, and we've made sure that the site will be all good. We spent a lot of money to make sure it's all good. There's been a lot of shot interns, a lot of wrestling inside the Bloke headquarters.
502 Bag Gateway.
I've actually they've sent in IT people, and I've wrestled each one, and the only person that I couldn't tap got the gig.
Yep.
Survival
Goanna
of the
wrestled or
fittest.
wrestled?
We're talking Greek wrestling.
Oh, Greek. Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah, like Olympic
bit of
wrestling.
oil and shit.
A lot of oil.
Yeah.
Or is it Turkish? Greek or Turkish, whichever one you want.
It was slippery though.
It was slippery.
Well, I think it would have been Turkish if it was slippery.
Is Turkish wrestling the slippery wrestling?
Well, I know that Greek isn't.
But are you sure that?
Because that's
at a
Greco,
point-
correct.
'Cause
It's
Greco's
Turkish, I
not.
think.
But
Can you
maybe
please
they
Google
removed the oil from the wrestling when it
For the
became an Olympic
Olympics.
sport. Where it
So
was
what?
like,
Are you sure telling me Olympians are anti-oil?
well, I just think,
I don't see the Olympic movement being
I think
anti-oil.
they're pro-oil, if anything. A lot of tanker rub.
I hope you're
You
right.
can't look me in the eyes and say you're negative olive oil.
No, if you don't like olive oil, it's kind of like what don't you like about olive oil? But what I would say is in the wrestling context, it can turn sexual, and I just think that for global audience, there was potentially some blowback. So they were like, let's remove the oil.
So that was too sexual, and yet the female sand volleyball players, beach volleyball, skimpier.
Lathered in
They're now allowed to wear shorts and shit, though.
Yeah, but only recently. Before that, it was like, if you're not wearing a thong,
that was
then you're not playing.
How weird is that they weren't allowed to just wear whatever the fuck they want?
I know.
You know what I mean?
But that's why I don't buy the oil thing.
Yeah, that oil.
They like it sexual.
Listen, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
What do you got,
Clearly.
Matt?
Oil wrestling, also called grease wrestling, is a traditional Turkish sport.
So it's called grease wrestling.
Also called grease wrestling.
Turkey. It's Turkey. I told you.
Yeah, but it is called grease wrestling, but it's Turkish.
Turkish.
So that's
Greece is in greasy.
Yeah, but that's what I meant.
Grease lightning.
That's what I meant.
You said Greek.
I said grease wrestling.
You said Greek.
No, I'm joking. So Turkish wrestling. Anyway,
shorts are back.
Bloke shorts are back. Make sure to be there Wednesday, 6 p.m. Once they're gone, it will take minimum 3 to 6 months to get them back in again. So if you want them, you guys have tried them. They're comfy. They are really
good
comfy.
shorts.
I wear them all the time.
I literally wear them
in
all
the
the
shower.
time.
That's how good they are.
They're more comfy than being naked.
Correct. All clean.
I literally do wear them all the time though. So get them. They're comfy as anything. And once they're gone, they're gone. Wednesday, 6 p.m. Also, still got the OG. We got the OG Bloke shirts back, black, grey, and brown. And Bloke in a Bar beer. Here's the stores in Spotlight. Tats Hotel in Inverell. IGA Orange. Bardwell Park Cellars. IGA Mossvale. Kill Care Cellars. Georgetown Cellars. IGA Breakfast Point. Woolgoolga Beach, Bottle Shop, Grand Hotel Childers, Criterion Hotel Dalby, Celebrations Currumbin, Lewis Liquor Barn Cairns, Super Cellars Orange Grove Road. Make sure to go in, grab a case of Bloke in a Bar, a beautiful, easy drinking beer. And I mean, it's our beer. We started it during our time rather than a beer being started 100 years ago. So go get one. Plus, no other beer gives you this much sport content. Now, on to some huge topics. First of all, I just wanted to get your quick thoughts on Will Smith smacking Chris Rock across the face.
Fucking outrageous.
So outrageous. And then he got an award.
Dude, you
straight after.
ovation.
What world are we living in?
Dude, Hollywood's just Hollywood are fucking weird.
It's cuckoo land.
Yeah, it is. It's cuckoo land.
It is cuckoo. Like, they all consoled him. Chris Rock told the joke, got slapped, went backstage, and left.
Did he just bail?
He bailed. Well, you be so.
Was he hosting or was he just?
No, like as in he hosted. He did his gig and then bounced. Apparently, that's what the reports are. It's cuckoo land,
dude. Will Smith. What it shows to me is that Will Smith.
But he didn't care.
Fucking crazy.
And then he looked, and then he's like, oh,
he laughed.
Fuck. No, but he was laughing, and then he's like, got the read off the missus, and he's like, and then he remembered he was a cuck, and then he's like, oh, I've got to go behave like
right.
Yeah, he's cucked beyond.
He's
belief.
cucked, mate.
That's what it feels like. It feels like a man who
biggest
snapped at the wrong point, not at being cucked, and everyone joking about being cucked, but a joke about your wife, who I get it has alopecia.
It was the
maybe
mildest
Chris
joke
Rock
in
didn't
history.
know about it.
He didn't know about it. He didn't know about it.
Of course, he didn't fucking know about it. But like,
G.I. Jane is
cuck
hot
energy.
and a badass as well.
It was
Yeah,
just.
I didn't. G.I. Jane's not that negative.
That's a
Well,
positive.
it's just saying that you got shaved head. Now, did he know that you had alopecia? No. Is alopecia even? It's not life threatening. Not that that doesn't mean like if you wouldn't make fun of someone with alopecia.
Ricky Gervais literally was calling them friends with.
He said to Leonardo DiCaprio, he goes, "Oh yeah, Leonardo DiCaprio." This is Ricky Gervais. He goes, "Leonardo DiCaprio went to the screening, the premiere of Once Upon a Time in Mexico. Really long movie, great movie, long movie." He goes, "By the time the movie ended, his date was too old for him."
Like that's a wild joke.
He goes, "Prince Andrew was even like, come on, son, you're almost 50." You're like,
It's just like I cannot believe
But Leo,
it.
Copsy is perfect.
And people are trying to say, "Oh, he was defending his wife's honor and it's just too much." I guarantee you, if Joe Rogan or The Rock was up there and said the same joke, he would have sat his little ass down and said, "Oh, funny joke." There's no way if any guy was up there that was physically capable to defend
the fuck
himself,
out of him, yeah.
I guarantee he doesn't go up there and do shit about it.
Yeah.
So it's all just ego
but
and
it's funny
insecurity.
though. Will Smith now I mean, for a lot of like Will Smith was a king. Like he was
was
awesome.
a king.
You know what I mean? Great films, funny, versatile, all these other things. Now everyone's like, oh, dude, you are a fucking freak.
Mate, try watching Pursuit of Happiness again.
Oh, Pursuit of Slappiness.
You know what I mean? You're going, this isn't sad anymore.
Yeah.
No,
This isn't sad. This is like almost really fucked up.
Yeah.
You know
You're just a
what I mean?
100%.
Like, you're almost you're evil, bro.
But then to get up and his speech and he's crying and it's not about like being contrite really. It was more just about like the moment. He still got to have this moment. He's like, I'm a vessel for love. And it's like, bro, you just smacked the shit out of Chris Rock. What are you talking about?
And also, like, to show how mentally fucked up he is right now, he went from laughing to anger to yelling to tears. Like, in, 10-minute space. Like, you know how like crazy you have to be able to be going like this, like
Dude,
fucking.
Hollywood is so fucking cracked. And the more, I guess, like exposure there is and the more you are able to see people, like you think about like even early 2000s when there wasn't Instagram and shit and like people were still crazy in Hollywood and you saw people have breakdowns, but it was kind of like still at an arm's length. Now you can just see and interact so much more with them and see how like desperate and needy these weird fuckers are that we used to think were all really cool.
Yeah, it's
They think as well that, oh mate, it was staged because the ratings have been going so poorly. People thought it was staged to promote it. I'm like, this is the worst possible thing for the Oscars because now people just go, you fuckers are unhinged.
Yeah,
Like,
and also
stay over there.
Think about it. If it is unstaged, think about how even worse that is for Will Smith. You have been dragged through publicly, like on a show, your missus telling you how she cheated on you, and you're literally there crying and that.
Not just cheat on you with one of your son's friends.
Your son's friends.
Yeah.
And you also sit there like a cut copying it.
No regret, like she's like no regret, whatever. You've been dragged, and you're in such a low place for you are willing to smash your own image as a publicity stunt. It's actually worse if it's staged.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
then it's a planned smashing of your own public image.
There's no way it stays.
There's no way.
It's worse. It's
If you want to have a fucking really good laugh, go and find Andrew Schultz's roast. So he's basically, he comes out and he's like, you know, all right, you're going to fucking slap comedians having a joke. So he just sits there on his show Flagrant 2.
smashing it.
Dude, he smashes her, smashes Will Smith, but he just does this like 3-minute monologue of just like roast jokes. Just roast the fuck out of Will Smith
that's so
and
good.
Jada. And it's hilarious.
Bro.
I won't even say anything.
Yeah.
It was funny as
No,
fuck.
check it out. Go check it out.
Watch it,
YouTube.
watch it, watch it.
Yeah, and a PSA, you're a loser if you hit people over jokes. You're a fucking loser.
Yeah, you need to be able to cop it.
Mate,
Yeah.
it's a joke.
We were speaking about this a couple of weeks ago, remember? Like how the Gervais thing, how like people are smiling, laughing, and how to take it, don't get too butthurt, and then this happens. It's like, so if you ever use violence because someone made a joke, you're a fucking loser, soft, insecure, just the lowest kind of human.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Then, mate, then they're running around going, oh, you know, fucking Russia and violence isn't the answer and peace and shit. And then someone smacks a comedian on stage and then they fucking applaud him
I
10
know.
minutes later.
No one takes him out either.
No,
and they've got the audacity to talk down to us as normal people how to live our
they get
lives.
stand
But
up
then
there
the
and give you
Academy's
advice.
like, yeah, look, you know, we might look into it.
But
Like, he should have been stripped on the spot.
He should have literally been dragged out.
And thrown out.
Yeah, thrown out.
And then, like, he didn't win.
And these guys are telling, like...
Next best.
These guys are doing singing videos of, like, imagine all the people and that telling us how to be better people.
Yeah.
But
Here we
they
are,
could
this
have
is
kicked him out, right? And then just hushed everyone and then pretended like he didn't win. Just giving it to someone else.
Yeah,
And just
exactly.
go, well, you didn't
Just
win,
go,
mate.
you didn't
It's
win, so
shit.
who gives a
It's
shit?
crazy. Anyway, I just want to get your thoughts.
On his Instagram, funnily enough, because obviously that's, you know, you go and have a little scroll and see how much of a... you now see him through this lens. You're like, oh, he is cracked. He's a cracked dude.
He's under the thumb. He's
But,
cut.
dude, like...
Crazy.
Like a few posts ago, he's got something up there where it's like, yo, I'm taking a bunch of young and up and coming comedians to do this comedy show. And it's like, oh, so you're like in the comedy space, at least playing in it to a degree, and you still can't fucking cop a joke? Like, what is wrong with you, dude?
Bizarre.
What a
And he
gimp.
would have
And I
known
love
Chris
Will
Rock
Smith.
too. He would have known him as a mate. So, and also, like, if you're a dude or a chick and your partner treats you the way Jada does, you should leave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should leave. I'm not a fucking specialist. Go see a doctor or a therapist, but I think you should leave if you get treated the way.
Yeah, she's
I'm
fucking
getting
your kid's
emotional
friend.
abuse
Yeah,
vibes.
it looks a bit abusive. So, but I just want to get your thoughts because to me it was outrageous that even people were defending it. I was like, what? What is going on here? Now, I want to ask you guys, you went down to see Volkanovski, the champion of the world.
Yeah, he's a really good friend.
Legend of the bloke, obviously best friends with you guys now.
Yep.
What was that like?
He said he knows you, mate.
Yeah, I know,
He
Volks.
said he knows you from the old Wollongong days.
Mate, we used to do a show together where we talk about MMA. But he forgot it. He forgot about
He
it.
said-
No,
It was
he,
like-
he forgot about you, but
He's
he said,
like,
we had to remind him.
I had to show him a photo of you. He's like, oh, that's right.
Yeah,
That's
right.
Yeah. I go, I met this bloke, you know?
He's a legend. Like, even when he
Great
won
guy.
his world championship, like, similar to Cambosis, like, a lot of those guys, you get them on way before they go big. And sometimes guys like that can forget. But both him and Cambosis, anytime I message, hey, mate, would you like to do that? Yeah, 100%. He's a fucking legend.
Yeah, good.
He was saying when he was there, he's like, that's why I still live and train down here. It just keeps me humble.
Yeah.
He's like, I have to get the belt out in the weeks leading up to the fight to remind myself that
Yeah.
I'm the champion of the world. He's
And-
like, otherwise I'd forget.
He's beaten one of the GOATs twice. Max Holloway.
Twice.
Well, and
And
fucking
Ortega
Aldo.
and Aldo.
Oh, he's
beaten
so
some
good.
goats.
So what was that like? How did they all come about? What was that all like? We'll put the video up of you.
Getting
We won't
choked.
say it.
Yeah. Well, no, it was through KO. Obviously, we're huge fans of KO, Eddie and I.
Huge fans of that work.
Huge fans of that.
I actually really do like KO because I wouldn't be able to watch
KO's
it.
great. But so we went down there. We've got a podcast coming out with him in the car next week.
Yep.
And then we were like, choke us out, bro. Want to feel what it's like to get choked out. And he was like, I'll actually choke you out. And we were like, well, not like actually though, right? Cause I don't
Yeah, because I was like, I'll do it. And then it was sort of like there was murmurings going, well, he's like, is this play on? And then like the UFC reps were like, yeah.
I don't know if we want him choking him out.
But
there was-
sleep.
There
And I'm
was
like,
like, the vibe though for initially was pro choke us out. And I was like, I don't want to get choked out. As much as I do, I don't know what the like reaction, like I don't want to like piss my pants on camera after
Well, I didn't
want to
like
something like
fucking
that. You know what I
start
mean?
shaking or some
That's
shit.
what I mean. Imagine getting choked out and then you come to and you've pissed yourself.
You got like a boner or something.
Yeah, I just didn't want to run those risks. So
you have to tape it down.
yeah.
Think
well,
about like the UFC, how many people they'd have to be worried about. Like you guys to them could just be randoms that are looking for a lawsuit. Like, you know what I mean? They've got to be so cautious about situations like that. What if you go, oh, he choked me and my neck's sore now and I'm going to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's fucking wild.
Yeah. I mean,
They were lucky with us. We're
different.
We're not. We're,
You're
not,
athletes.
we're dear friends. We're former athletes. We're not a litigious pair, Eddie and I.
They could see that you're about the business.
Not litigious.
We're not
No.
litigious.
We're just about being around world champions. You know, at the end of the day, that's sort of what gets us
That's
going.
the air that
Okay.
we breathe. Is world championship air, or we share the air with champions.
That's right. We like to share the same oxygen. you know?
Is the oxygen different? We're up in the heights that you guys currently are at?
Yeah, it's thinner.
it's
It's
thinner.
thinner. So you actually working harder to live each day?
No. We used to.
Okay.
But now we're used to it.
We're like the Nepalese.
Okay.
We just get it.
Yeah, we're like Sherpas of champions.
Could you guide people up? So you guide champions up the hill?
We
We
got
do.
champions,
That's
yeah.
why champions like being around us because they're training at low oxygen.
Yeah,
so
okay.
it's better for you, better for the engine.
Okay.
And we take them to the promised land. We
Yeah,
are Sherpas.
okay.
Shout
Now-
them to the
Greatness.
top of the heap.
We Sherpa you to greatness.
Okay. The only concern I have is you met Volks after he's been champion.
Well, that's what you think.
Oh, okay.
That's
We've
what
met
you
him
think.
before.
We're mate. We don't have to wing dang all the time, bro.
Yeah.
It's our second home.
It is.
Oh, wow. So, yeah, okay. So you meet him, Legend of Bloke.
Shoot the shit. We had a great interview.
Did Tom try and fight him? Just
No.
one round, bro. Just one round. I just want to move around with that.
Well, look, not when I mean, again,
not
I'm-
this close to fight week.
And
Okay.
we're Sherpering him, right? I don't want to fuck him up before a fight. So, but I did want to feel what it was. I did want to feel the strength and the power of a champion.
Yes.
I wanted to feel the strength
Yeah.
of a champion around
Were
my
you
neck,
impressed
around my
by the
throat.
strength?
The strength is true.
Yeah,
Okay.
It was impressive.
Good Aussie strength.
Oh, bro.
The idea of having someone seriously latching onto your neck like that.
But it put into context, he did it for like 2 seconds. It put into context how much of a motherfucker he is
Yeah.
to get over Ortega twice.
Yeah.
I'm like, bruh,
Yeah.
that shouldn't be possible.
No,
And
literally.
Ortega's given it everything he can.
And
mate.
he's like a world champion trainer. Like it's Ortega's like bread and butter, the triangle, the T City or whatever the fuck.
He's like the best of the best at grappling, pretty
Yes.
much, and all the jiu-jitsu and submissions and that. Like, he's top tier. And Volks' purple head just
And that's-
pops
and
out.
that-
Volk's got
but
a really
that's where-
strong
and-
chin. It's hard to get that fucking
But Ortega
thing out.
had him where Khabib had Connor,
Yeah.
basically. Connor taps after like 2 seconds.
Yeah. Oh, it's insane.
And Volk just lays there.
But Khabib, yeah, well,
But he
Khabib.
actually said, he was like, mates,
was out.
he goes, I sort of started to see, like the light started to dim.
Wow.
And then I came back and I'm like, what does that mean?
Yeah. Like the
And
lights
he
going
just-
going
he's
dark.
like, they
and then
started
come-
dimming. He's like, fuck, I'm about to go to sleep. And then he came back. I'm like, bruh, you're just a different.
Fuck, he is a
Motherfucker.
different motherfucker.
Yeah.
You know how like so I got sent his highlights years ago, and I you know, without giving, I got a good eye for whether someone I think you can be an elite athlete or not. Usually, anyway, so I looked at him and I was like, I know he's going to be good, but you know what really tipped me off for why I thought he would be really good was because he was the size that he is, but playing in the front row. I know it's only local league, but you know how strong you've got to be pound for pound to be the size he is, but playing front row in local league.
That's ridiculous.
So I thought, like, well, if he's that fucking strong against huge league players, when he gets down to 145, or he could get down to 135 if you wanted to, I just thought he's going to be so fucking strong that he'll be almost you can't get him down pretty much. And we saw that, I think, with the Mendes fight. He popped straight back up. We saw that, obviously, with the Ortega one. Yeah, he's a beast.
He's strong as shit.
He's a beast. Oh, that's awesome. And so you got a potty dropping with him soon?
Potty dropping with him next week.
Next week, yeah, good. And did you go over, what was the best bit from the potty? Obviously, don't have to give it away, but...
Fuck, I can barely remember anything that we
dribble
talked
zone?
about ever.
In the dribble zone? Were you in the flow?
Yeah,
flow
we were flowing.
We were dribbling and yarn, and we asked him about a bunch of shit, but it was a different vibe as well. Like we were doing it in his gym. There's people everyone's standing there watching us, so it's like a slightly different vibe to just sort of your normal potty. Not as long, but I have no fucking recollection what we spoke about. I'm assuming we spoke about MMA. I'm assuming we spoke rugby league. And I'm assuming I threatened him at least once with some physical harm.
Or, you know what you did? You started talking about the other fights that you've had in your life.
That's it. I think I mentioned, I brought up the ibis and the carrot cake and fucking whatever else. And he, so we met as equals on that level.
Yeah. You got advice there.
Yeah. And I gave some.
Next time an ibis chirps up, next time a carrot cake chirps up.
How do you kill an ibis?
Well, the carrot cake's dead. It's gone.
Carrot cake is gone.
We haven't seen it since.
No, we haven't.
No.
We went missing. We don't know where it's gone.
Well,
no confirmation. No confirmation.
The big fella.
You know when you meet...
It's in the big fella.
You know when you meet a new bloke at a pub and he does the like subtle trying to staunch you, and the subtlety is him talking about all the people he's bashed in his life?
Yeah.
Have you ever met people like that?
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
Birds, cakes.
Well, you like Volk's like, man, fucking love fighting. I got in a fight a few years ago.
Volk's like, Max Holloway, all-time great. Osvaldo, all-time great. I'm like, yeah, dude, ibis at the park with my daughter. A
guy with
cake.
spacer in his ears.
Yeah.
I threatened Kempy a few times as well. For he back down.
Yeah. These pads at Clavelli when I was boxing, practicing.
It's good stuff.
Great stuff. I mean, top of the heap kind of stuff. Now, speaking of top of the heap kind of stuff, Millie Boyle and Darius Boyd, along with Rihanna Crayon, who is like a fitness ambassador, also show host, have passed or won the SAS Australia. And my claim to fame in this, and he's not going to admit it, but I actually did say months ago when it was announced that Boyd would be there that Darius would win. Can you please confirm to the pundit?
Have we got the tape of it, Matty?
No, it was off air, and I said it to you.
Do we have any tape of it?
I said moments like probably 20 minutes ago when you asked me, I said, I don't remember that. And I was being legitimate,
but
and I've
I
been
thought
so honest.
you and I said that Darius was going to win.
Well, I knew Darius.
Yeah, I thought we said it. I don't remember you saying it.
I got Darius.
Obviously.
I got Darius the spot on the show. Well, we both did.
Yeah, we did. And we were obviously
close to Ant.
We just call up Ant. We go, Ant, mate. We got a bloke for you.
Yeah.
Named Darius.
Darbs.
Boyd.
Darbs.
Yeah. Put Darbs on.
He'll win it.
Darbs will win.
How about the leagueies doing the damn thing though? Leagueies love
back-to-back
SAS.
leagueies. Am I shocked? No, I'm not.
What about Millie the animal just beasting through the whole thing?
No, I honestly didn't watch a second of it, but
neither did I. Watched the highlights.
I watched the whole of last season, the one that Sam Burgess won. So I don't know why I didn't watch this one. Just
you know what? I think it was too close between drinks.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I need a year between these shows to really fucking pump me up. But they went like 2 months later. Too sharp and
I reckon the ratings would have been not as big because you can get SAS fatigue. You don't want to watch people get put through torture.
But I think after the Sam Burgess one, they had like a general plumber vibe.
Another one, yeah.
And then
has there been
I think there's been 3 in the last 4 months.
I don't think
you
should be doing any
SAS.
SAS that isn't celebrity because I don't give a fuck about plumbers SAS.
Well, I think the idea is that how does the common man go?
Yeah, but I don't care about that.
Sometimes I get stuck on a YouTube rabbit hole and watch like Irish, like special forces ones, and it's just normal people. Sometimes it can be good normal people. To see who like is tough, who's not tough, who's
But I mean, it's like let's take normal people and then make them famous people, and then you've got even more than what you had before.
Fair enough. Sometimes normal people are willing to go through more because like celebrities sometimes.
But
can be.
I hear you.
If you're prepared to go on maths, like normal people.
What's more
go
hectic to go on, maths or SAS? Like what's
maths?
So to win maths is more mentally tough.
I don't know.
Do
you win maths? Does maths have like a victory?
Mate, going through like the scrutiny involved with maths,
but also having so little
so much more intense. I think. I'd rather do SAS fucking every day of the week.
100%. I'd rather do anything
than get married at first sight, literally at first sight,
and to like a crackpot individual.
Well, yeah, they don't set you up for
surrounded-
love. They
No.
set you up for miserable failure.
Yeah.
That's what's ironic about
Like,
it.
as in plane crash failure.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
that it's
yeah.
fucking, the flames are like more enjoyable.
Like the producers are literally picking two people that won't get along
Yeah.
for better TV.
And they'll pick like one couple to be good
Yeah.
that'll come out and have a fucking maths baby, and you're like,
well, they
Jesus,
need one couple to be good because then they can say
the show's a
the
success.
show's about love.
Yeah.
So they get two people that are fucking desperate, like 45 usually.
Yeah, yeah. Last chance.
Last
saloon,
chance.
Can you
Saloon
explain to
shit.
me the mind state you have to be on to go, all right, this is what my life has led to. I'm going to go on a TV show and marry a person I've never seen, get absolutely slandered by the internet, because that's what I think is the best way forward for my life that I only get one of.
Well, Denon, you get a few thousand followers on the gram and then potentially a job in a regional commercial radio station.
Look, if you're going on it for fucking fame, good for you. Just so be it. But like, don't tell me you're going on it for love. Like, at least be honest.
Yes. With
You know
us.
If you're honest, then I'm whatever. I don't
Yeah.
care. But if you're gonna look me in the eyes and go, I'm literally going on it for love, I'm like, bullshit.
Okay.
Or you're old and last chance salooning it, and maybe you're telling the truth. But if you're 35
Yeah, if
and under,
you're last,
They should like
chance
bring
alone.
like a 95-year-old woman and man on to get married.
dude,
That'd actually.
married on last breath.
And then, but then they
last
don't
night.
join them, and then they get to
don't
the
match
dinner.
them.
They're like, "What the fuck?" Like,
The hell? Yeah. we
Married at
found
last sight.
fucking, you know.
married at last sight. Yeah, marrying people on their deathbed.
Yeah, Mabel and Dennis. They've got them both in bed.
You know how emotional that'd be though, because they'd be talking about like lessons in life and past loves, and it'd actually be pretty fucking interesting to hear actual shit that you should probably know as a human being. It always stings the heart when you see like those YouTube or Instagram, Facebook videos of like lessons from a 85-year-old veteran, you know, that passed away. He left
Mate,
a letter.
I tell you
You're
what,
like,
it'd pull the heartstrings because, like, at the end of the season, they were all dead.
"It did."
Yeah.
Hey, till death do us part.
So that's doing well.
It was
Yeah, there you go.
Jesus Christ!
So
Great
anyway,
idea for a show.
congratulations
We
to
own
Darbs.
We own
Love
that.
at last sight.
Last sight. Oh fuck. Yeah, congratulations, Darbs. I think with this, obviously, Darbs is a polarizing dude, and obviously Millie. But just with Darius, I think it's really interesting that, you know, a lot of people are like, oh, you know, he's not tough when he plays in the last few years of his
Who
career.
the fuck's talking like that?
A lot of people on the internet. There was even guys in the comment section.
Oh
that
no,
put
they
up
said he
posts.
wasn't shy. Would make his tackles and shit at the end of his career.
Right. Yeah,
That's
sure.
what they said.
Shock horror, a guy isn't as good at the end of his career as he is at the start.
Yeah. But it just shows you that even the guys that play NRL that aren't seen as the tough guys are actually really fucking tough. Like, to get through SAS, you got to be tough. And you can even look at like Millie, like, you know, some say the women game isn't as tough. Like, she's fucking tough, clearly. She just got through the SAS like Darius Boyd. Actually, interesting fact, I think women can actually endure long forms of pain better than men.
Birth.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Like, naturally.
Birth, dude.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah,
given
I've
the whole
seen it.
birth thing.
I've seen it, and it's fucked up in a good way, but it's pain that I don't
In a
want.
respect way.
In a respect way. I respect the shit out of it, but like the primal roaring that you hear when like a baby's being born, El Natural, painkiller free.
Oh, did you go
I remember you told me it was like you sounded like people getting stabbed to death.
Well, I know.
Fucking hell.
I don't know. No, yeah, right. So the first time, and this was my first experience
you
in
were like
childbirth. I was in a
thin walls.
maternity. I was in like a
okay,
fucking
some other
emergency
okay,
birth
yeah,
ward.
yeah.
The walls are very thin.
Yeah.
And we were like, they were like, well, look, you know, we basically, Steph was given some painkillers for the first one, no painkillers for the second one, but for the first one,
You should have taken some too and be like, fuck yeah.
well, seriously. So they were like, gave some painkillers, like, you guys can sleep for a couple of hours, and you know, we'll fucking come back at this thing in a couple of hours. So we're trying to get some sleep. Steph had been in labour for like 3 days. It was fucked up. But as I'm like laying there in the dark, I'm on the floor, like laying there in the dark. Steph's on painkillers, so she's already asleep. And it was like I was hearing murders go off around the fucking. It's like,
Oh my God.
and I'm like, if you had like a fucking camera on me in the dark, my eyes are just like, holy shit, dude.
Man.
Is that normal? But then the second time without painkillers with Zoe, our most recent one, you're like, oh yeah, dude, that's exactly how you should scream when this is happening.
It's like, think about the
Full respect to women, it's fucking incredible. what
Yeah,
you
I was
can
going to
do.
say, like, think about the bravery to not only have the first child, but the second child. Like, you know, the pain is going to be excruciating, but you still choose to go through it. I don't think I've got the guts to do that shit.
Dude, I said that it's funny because like when I was
You know what I
saying
mean?
to
I don't think I've got the guts
Not
to do
about
that.
that life.
To
Think about-
know the pain, I'd rather not know the pain's coming.
Well, so there's a couple of things, right? When I said to Steph, when I was like, God, if it was me going in there, like you think about it as like a dental fucking surgery. It's like, hey, we're going to go pull a tooth out of your mouth. It's like, I want to feel it. I'm like, fuck that.
Nope.
No, numb me up.
Yep.
But there is apparently, and also like there are plenty of women who who do have painkillers. It's absolutely fine however you want to do it. But if you do it without painkillers, good on you. But there's apparently like a high you get after having the kid.
Like endorphins and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So like the pain is fucked up, but then once you have the kid, there's like this rush, and you kind of forget about it.
Yeah, but in the moment though, so much respect.
Oh, yeah.
So much respect. I think even like women endurance athletes, on average, aren't like that far behind men. It's more just like the short stuff that's different.
I think that I could be wrong here, but my memory serves me that I think the first or second best endurance athlete on the planet is a female.
Yeah, which is pretty incredible.
The number one.
Number one, or if not number one, then number two.
Yeah.
I saw some
Planet
chick
is a-
getting
yeah.
interviewed on Rogan once, and she was talking about doing these psycho marathons, and then
probably her.
It was like might have been like 24-hour like ultra marathons
Yeah.
or something like that.
Probably who I'm
and
talking
she
about.
would sleep for like 60 seconds.
That's her.
Wow.
She'd stop and she'd lay down, and then just, oh fuck,
Well,
all right.
the
She'd
recent-
feel like she'd been
Yeah,
asleep.
I think that's her.
The recent like last CrossFit, me and Mrs. always watch the CrossFit Netflix things that come on or on Apple TV and that. And like some of those events, like the running events, the girls would beat the guys in the CrossFit thing. So yeah, in endurance, like they're pretty much one for one. Like the best of the best at least are pretty close. Really interested in that, and I think it's cool to see women getting passes in the SAS thing as well. Because I think 20 years ago we probably ought to be like, nah, there's no way. But now we obviously know more like about it. So yeah, congratulations to, and also Rihanna. I don't know who she is. She's just not in my space. But congratulations to her. She wasn't even an athlete, a former athlete. Like she's a fitness person, but she wasn't like a former
Just a
professional
weapon.
athlete, and she fucking nailed it.
What's her name? I'm not aware.
Rihanna Crehan. I think she like does hosting for shows and that, and also does like she's a fitness ambassador.
nice.
So congratulations. If you want to go watch some wild SAS shows, there's some great ones on YouTube. And also, I put the post up this morning, like saying that they had won, and people were there were a couple of people complaining about spoilers.
Didn't you have a swipe on it? Or did you put the swipe on after?
After, but it had already been announced across the entire internet the night
If
before.
you're worried about spoilers for SAS
was like-
Celebrity, then you have bigger problems. No disrespect, but fucking get it together.
Well, I'm surprised you didn't watch it live.
Well, you should have watched
But
it
how's
live.
that like my fault? Like, am I not supposed to post it, even though it's posted on their SAS, all of their personal feeds, it's all over the internet. I specifically waited till the morning to just avoid all that.
You should
That
have put the swipe in, mate.
Fucking insane.
You should have put the swipe
That
in.
is insane.
I
thought Will Smith slapping someone was insane, but being upset about spoilers for celebrity
I
SAS.
get it.
I think the spoiler.
I side with the fans.
I think the spoiler game is getting out of control.
Yeah.
Like-
Watch it when it's on, or like don't pretend like okay if it was on last
Game
night.
of Thrones spoilers were annoying.
I get spoilers for Game of Thrones,
because you don't
dude.
need to announce the ending. You know what I mean? Whereas like SAS, the point of the show is to announce that like someone won. You know?
Well, do they fucking say that to you when you post the result of a footy game? Oi! I haven't watched that one yet on KO Minis.
Imagine that. Imagine if that was a thing.
No
That's what I
That
mean.
you couldn't fucking report on like the outcome of a game because people hadn't watched the tape yet.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be.
Why don't you just go-
I got
not
that with
go on your phone?
I got that with MMA once, UFC, where people, I was going to watch that later. I'm like,
Well, okay, then don't go on Instagram, you fucking
yeah,
idiot.
I'm a sports page. But yeah, it was. Could you imagine that? No spoilers. Grand
It was
final
like a
result.
5-day fucking.
Yeah, Instagram made it illegal to spoil any
Yeah, yeah,
sporting
yeah.
events. But yeah, congratulations to the crew that won. Now, on to some big news. Mitch Barnett gets suspended for 6 weeks, reckless and dangerous contact.
Bit high.
Now, Paul Kent has
Nothing in
said
it.
he thought 4 weeks.
Well, that's a little closer. I would have gone 1 or 2. Again, as you saw, it was mainly the guy who got the elbow to the jaw's fault, right? He pulled up in his line or something, I think it was.
Look, I would have had it down as a grade 1 careless, just a fine.
bit of cashy.
Because he was trying to palm him, but to palm, and this was I don't know who was saying this, but to palm someone, you do actually have to have your elbow bent at one point. Otherwise, you're just running with your arms straight and you don't get power. So I think Mitch was in the act of palming. Now, he never extended the arm and he did just cock someone into the jaw, cold cocked him, but I think it was a palm gone wrong. And 1 to 2 weeks.
So he
probably.
just got his palm
He just
technique
got his
wrong.
palm
And
technique
also,
wrong.
we have to admit, this is a fact. If Smith doesn't run into his elbow, it doesn't happen.
That's what I mean.
Look, Smith runs into his elbow. We know that.
That's clear. It's clear
We
as
know
day.
that.
Is there
That's
any
clear
way
as
to
day.
suspend
Look,
Latrell for
at the
this?
end of the
Can we suspend Latrell? What if we give Latrell a few of those weeks? What if we give Latrell 4 or 5 of those weeks?
Tom, I'd go a couple weeks further. I think give him the full whack. Just go, fuck it, mate. You've got history.
If Latrell doesn't do
Barnett's
this to
a good
Joey
bloke.
Manu, if Latrell doesn't do that to Joey Manu last year, does this ever happen?
No,
That's
I
a
don't
good
think so.
point. That's a good point.
Does this ever happen?
No, Latrell set
Butterfly effect.
Exactly. Well, Latrell set the standard.
Yeah.
Okay, and you could argue that he's a very influential player, and
Yep.
players want to play like Latrell,
Be like Latrell.
be like Latrell, act like Latrell. This is a simple case, Tom, in my opinion, of Mitch Barnett wanting to be like Latrell.
Yeah,
He goes, "What would Latrell do here?"
Latrell's a role model, and he needs to be a little more responsible
That's
for
right.
the fucking
That's right.
the action.
That's
that
exactly
he
right.
takes.
Exactly right. And mate, once you walk that out, it's clear as day to me.
Yeah.
Latrell needs to wear this 6 weeks for Barnett. I
Yeah,
think.
this is a Latrell Mitchell issue, and I'm fucking sick of the way he plays. I'm sick of it.
I think that going forward, they should have an option to offload your suspension to Latrell.
To Latrell.
That should be an option.
like
Take the
it's,
early
instead
guilty
of the early
plea.
plea, it's like the early Mitchell plea.
Yeah.
Which is basically he takes all the weeks for you.
Yeah. Yeah. You pay a nominal fee of like $150, and then you
Or just
get
it's
to
an
give-
admin fee.
It's an admin fee.
Yeah,
It's
it's just for the
processing
paper.
fee.
It's just the paperwork.
and then we just give all your weeks to Latrell, and we move on.
Pretty simple.
Oh fuck!
Poor prig play another game.
Latrell's fucking on the sidelines a lot, but you know it's his fault.
It's almost like every time a big story like this happens, it's like, how can we relate this back to Latrell?
Yes, exactly.
How do we wind this back?
This back. Well,
To
Mitchell,
Yeah,
Latrell Mitchell.
That's connection.
There you go.
Look, I personally, actually, speaking of the Latrell situation, I thought about 4 weeks for that one. I thought about 6 to 8 for this. I would have been like,
How do you not get 8 to 10 weeks for cold cocking a motherfucker in the face?
Oh, no. If it had been 10, I would have been like, I understand that.
And that
You
to
just
me is
you
like,
just cannot tell me. I'm sorry, you cannot convince me that there is an intent there for him to fucking elbow a bloke in the throat or the neck. Or the head.
and like
You can't. I just don't.
it doesn't mean he's a bad human. Like people fucking make
It's a
bad
brain
mistakes.
explosion.
It's a brain explosion.
Yeah.
You make bad mistakes, whatever. It's not he's a bad guy, but like if Latrell Mitchell's hit, and I do think that it is worth referring
loading.
back to, right? The hit that Latrell did on Joey Manu was at pace, trying to make a tackle that he fucked up. Mistake, not a brain explosion at all, a mistake. He came in hard. How the fuck is this the same?
Yeah. Well, I guess.
Imagine if Latrell did that.
Oh, whoa. That'd be wild.
Do you know,
Now,
it just doesn't seem to make sense.
I think in Latrell's case, just to be devil's advocate, he did have a bit of loading, correct, Matt? But in saying that, in what world, even if he does have a bit of loading, how do they even still land on
the same thing?
Same thing. Now, I don't think like 2 wrongs make a right. So I don't think like Mitchell should be punished because Latrell was unfairly punished if you think that. But I do agree with like it does just seem really weird that is the same amount of weeks, even with the loading. I know loading got reset. So were you here when we were talking about? We were talking about this before. So that they've redone the whole judiciary system where every 12 months or 12. So let's say you do an incident. 12 months from that period, you have loading. But after 12 months, it gets erased.
Right.
And so with the Mitch Barnett situation, I think he has had incidents in the past, but this year, everyone got a clean slate. So that would account for a couple of the weeks and it being close. But I still do believe, even just for the look of it, for the game, giving the same amount of weeks, and I think Fui Mayono also got 6 weeks.
Yeah, he got 5 or 6. Yeah,
And what was his a head high, just a swinging arm?
was his on?
No, that was the hip drop.
Oh, the hip drop.
The hip drop. Yeah, so he got 6 weeks, and that was at speed. And it definitely wasn't intentional. It was just at speed. It all just happened quickly. That's where it's like, for the look of the game, it's kind of like, wow.
But you know, like when they're saying with Fumamono, it's like, we've got to get that tackle out of the game, so you've got to punish it harshly. I would assume you would be saying the same thing about cold cocking someone in the jaw who isn't holding the ball and just running a line. I would assume what Latrell did isn't something where it's like, we've got to get that out of the game. It's like, obviously, no one wants to fucking hit someone in the head. It was an accident. Well, not good. 6 weeks, I think, is probably is relatively reasonable for what Latrell did. But I'm like, are they just punishing on the outcome of what happened?
Yeah.
as opposed to what is actually happening. Because, like, if Barnett had broken the dude's jaw...
Yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting, which you shouldn't be judging like that.
No, you shouldn't be judging like
or
that.
he catches him a bit higher and breaks his eye socket as well. What was that graded as, Matt?
It didn't actually say, but I'll have a look because I can figure it out. By the way, Phil Mano got 5 weeks.
He got 5 weeks. See, like, how that's only a 1 week more. What's really interesting, too, about the Latrell thing is the exact same... So the same play happened. I talked about this podcast on Monday. So Roosters versus Rabbitohs on the weekend, the exact same play happened. Joe Marnie makes a break. He offloads inside. This time, Latrell isn't aggressive, and they end up scoring the try. I think that's if you ever wanted to see like Latrell's character, he clearly like learnt from that and was like, I'm not going to fucking go charging in and try and hurt Joey.
Joey also hit his face on the very first tackle against Latrell of the game.
I was like,
Latrell puts a step on him,
dude.
and then he hits his cheek again. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, I was
Well,
like,
surely
not.
played it up.
No, he fucking cracked his cheek on Latrell's shoulder.
No, he's like,
didn't he?
it's plated up as the cheeks plated up.
Oh,
Yeah.
right.
As I mean, like, it's probably fucking stronger than ever.
Yeah, right.
Look, I
plated up.
Plated, yeah.
This is hard to speak about because, like, I don't want Barnett to be punished more because, like, fuck him or anything like that. Like, this, it was a brain explosion, Barnett.
Take his name out.
Take his name out. Let's just talk about the action and what can we do to make sure that never happens again? Because, again, I don't want to dogpile Mitch, and I'm not saying you guys are either, but just to be clear, there's no need to dogpile Mitch. Let's just talk about, the action that happened kind of thing.
Well, the thing is, you're not going to be able to stop this from ever happening again. There'll be a time where someone does something dumb and has a brain explosion again, but to only give 6 weeks for what is not even making a tackle. The guy was running, probably not even paying attention to Mitch. Like, it was just completely nothing to do with what there was happening in the game, and he's just cracked him. Like, it's just... It was thuggish and gross and, like, a very scat thing to do.
Mate, it was almost a Bam Bam versus Derek Lewis elbow. Like,
Exactly.
Boom, you know?
What's I think a bit bizarre about it as well is, like, we have had this huge crackdown on concussions. Like, it has been the talking point. The game has changed dramatically from it. And then, in a real situation where it's like, wow, he got concussed, he got taken off the field.
He's not playing this week.
So it is a bizarre decision by the, what do you got there, Matt?
So just as for gradings, I'm going to have to look a bit deeper into this, but from what I can see at NRL.com, he hasn't got a grade 1, 2 or 3, and I think that's because he's been referred straight to the judiciary. He's just got, the charge just says dangerous contract, and verdict is just guilty at panel. So
Yeah,
I'm not, that makes it a bit hard to compare, but yeah, that's where we're at.
So he didn't get careless. He was found guilty of reckless, dangerous contact.
Yeah.
And he only got 6 weeks. Was Latrell's careless or reckless?
Reckless grade 2.
Grade 2.
Okay.
Which is now careless grade 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, so really interesting. I mean, look, nothing can change it. He's got 6 weeks. I'm sure he'll absolutely learn his lesson because he's never going to be able to live that down. He's going to get peppered on the sideline constantly. But hopefully going forward, we have a very clear, much more clear and consistent... in the NRL's defence and the judiciary's defence, they are working under a new set of rules compared to last year when they did lose Latrell. So you could say, like, it is a bit unfair to judge them on last year's decision when they have a new method of doing things this year.
Which is just to give him to Latrell the week.
Yeah, exactly. That's the new method.
That's the new method.
The new method is just to give him to Latrell.
The Latrell play.
So, in fairness, I think, like, going forward is how we will judge this decision. If we go forward and there are things less dangerous that get similar to 6 weeks, that's when we can go, wow, that's a bit bullshit. But right now, I don't think we've got enough suspensions under our belt in the new system to judge it. You know what I mean? If the new system is consistent.
Yeah, fair enough. We'll see what happens.
So in the
Someone
NRL's
else will do
defence,
something stupid, so we can test it then.
guaranteed. But the really good thing is Smith's, doesn't have long-term damage. He's okay. So, hopefully he can bounce back. He was playing pretty good too, Smith. Bit of a journeyman. I think he went to the Bulldogs and came back to Penrith, and it was his crack that he had, his crack to get a spot in the side. So it sucks that he got taken off. Anyway.
So he got cracked in the chin.
Hopefully everyone learns from it and we move forward. Now, big news. Reports are that Payne Haas has agreed to terms with his new manager, and Payne Haas's manager feels that he should be on $1 million from 2023, 2024. Can you confirm that that's, at the moment, it's my understanding, that's just reports. We don't have any quotes from the manager. But if that reports usually mean someone has leaked that to the media or said that to the media, like that's what we're working with. Whether it's the club or the manager, I'm not sure. What do you guys think? Is Payne Haas worth $1 million a year?
Mate, he's a hell of a fucking footballer.
Maybe not 1 million, but close. Like it's not far off.
I don't know, what is the salary cap going up in the next 5 or 6 years? How long is the deal? $1 million is a lot of money. It's a shitload of money. And he's a front rower. He's not a half. He's not a fullback. I don't know. Like,
I guess it would also depend on how many years that contract is for. Like maybe it's, you see with Tamalolo, $1 million for 10 years or whatever, it's like maybe that's not worth it. Maybe it was for a little bit. But like maybe if you're not trying to sign him for 10 years, you can then go, well, let's have we can look at this again in a few years and see whether you're still worth $1 million. But it's a fuckload of money.
It's sort of hard to say without being super au fait with the caps and 30-man squads and how all that shit works and balancing a side. Like, to win a comp, you need an elite halfback.
Yeah.
Like, first and foremost. Now, they've got Reynolds. How long's he going to be there for? I don't know. If he retires in the next couple of years, then they've got to either build someone up who's going to be $1 million players or buy someone who's $1 million players. Then having two motherfuckers like that on your books, does that make it tough?
I can't believe you guys lowballed Nico Hines. That just seems even worse now in the fucking context.
It seemed really bad at the time.
It seemed bad at the time.
Didn't the Tigers say no to him as well?
Can you check that, please?
God, I hope so. God, I hope
Fucking
so.
hell.
But like, this isn't about.
And he literally might win a Dalian. That's how good he's playing.
But that's what I mean. It's like,
Dude, he's playing
it
so
was bad
good.
at the time.
Hair is so
it was bad
wet.
at the time, and then now it's like, oh, dude, that's the dumbest fucking.
Has his hair gotten wetter?
Well, look, it looks pretty wet when he's playing in the rain. Let me tell you that.
Yeah, it's always wet. It's wet year round.
It's like it can't absorb water. It just sits on the top of it.
I had actually heard this, and I didn't want to break it on here. Well, I didn't want to break it necessarily until I had absolute confirmation, but I'm going to do it anyway. And I've heard that the World Heritage Organization is looking at making it a protected rainforest. His hair.
Yeah, look, like a UNESCO site.
Exactly.
That's eyes up
UNESCO, yeah.
Well, UNESCO, I think, looks after World Heritage, Tom. I could be wrong.
Well, again,
World
that's why I didn't want to
Heritage-
go off too early, but that's what we're hearing. It's going to be a protected rainforest.
UNESCO.
Wetlands. And
wetlands.
again,
Wetlands, yeah.
I am prepared to break this news, though, because I did just get off the phone with David Attenborough, and he is flying out here, and he is filming his next Planet Earth in Nico's hair.
Holy shit.
Well, it's just called Hines.
It's the Hines Rainforest.
The Hines Rainforest. Yeah, look.
I mean,
It's accurate.
If I'm picking up what you're putting down, are you saying that if his hair is damaged, oxygen levels may drop due to the amount of oxygen that his rainforest develops?
Yeah,
or
that's
produces?
exactly what I'm saying.
Well, he's protected.
It's protected.
He's a
for
World
reason.
Heritage site.
So around him, the players actually can breathe better because the air is so clear.
Well, it certainly helps. But you could also say there's some distractions from some of the animals living in his hair.
Only mildly.
Well,
Based on what I've seen this season, Tom, I don't think it's having much of an effect at all.
no, in fact, it seems to be having a positive effect, largely.
I think playing around a World Heritage protected site probably good for the football you're playing.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, it allows you to, you can just trot off into the rainforest and sort of de-stress if you really want to.
First shark to live in a rainforest too. That's why it needs so much water, so the sharks can
Well,
swim
there
around.
are some yet to be discovered wildlife, flora and fauna in there as well that we haven't.
Oh, many flora, many fauna. Undiscovered.
Goes Amazon jungle, Hines' hair.
Yep.
Well, the Amazon's disappearing before our very eyes.
Yeah.
Nico will be number one soon enough. The Brazilians keep carrying on the way they have, cutting it down,
Burning it.
burning it.
No, we will not burn this heritage site.
No
way.
Good luck.
Could you imagine if he rocks up with a shaved head one week?
Now, back
that'll be a problem.
to Tom's original point.
Yeah.
The Broncos let go of Reece Walsh and then said no to Nico Hines in the space of 4 months.
Dude, it's just insanity.
What's going on up there? What's happening?
And then got pounded by the Cowboys.
And they got pounded by, we may as well talk about that now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you get 30 put on you?
Cowboys.
home?
Cowboys, I reckon.
Sunday afternoon?
Cowboys, I reckon. They're looking like premiership threats.
Oh, okay. Sure.
Come on now.
What are you going to say, Matt?
I couldn't find anything about Nico Hines and the Tigers, unless it's in the depths
Might
of
have
the
made that
internet.
up.
They've
But,
scrubbed
yeah.
it off the net.
Yeah, they've just scrubbed that off the net.
Pascoe
Or
scrubbed
we
it.
made it up.
Pascoe scrubbed it.
I might have made that up. Or it might have been scrubbed.
You decide.
What's more believable?
Yeah. Would Eddie make something up like that?
No, I don't think so.
Now, back to Broncos, $1 million with the Haas. Look, this is going to sound like it doesn't make any sense. he's worth $1 million, yes. But is he worth $1 million to where the Broncos are right now? No. And what I mean by that is like, he's playing such good footy, like incredible footy, and we're still at the bottom of the table.
Yes.
So we need to spend our cap differently to the way we're spending it right now. And so I just think that right now, in the state that the Broncos are in, spending $1 million on him isn't going to help us progress the table. You know?
Yeah.
It's basically more of the same because we're not going to have more money to go elsewhere. So like to another club with like a different setup that may be able to take advantage of that because they've got some good young halves locked in at lower amounts of money. You know what I mean? Maybe it would work for $1 million. And right now, if he keeps going on this way, if you take winning premierships out of it and you just talk about individual performances, I think he'll probably be the greatest front row of all time. No front rower has ever done what he has done statistically, physically, all that kind of stuff. But within the context of trying to build a roster to take us up the table, I just think that he's a victim of his position just doesn't affect the game enough to spend $1 million on it.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
It's a lot of money, man.
It's
a lot of
massive.
For a front rower,
cap space
it's too much.
And I know Haas has got a lot of fans, and I know people disagree with that. I know a lot of people do believe he's worth $1 million, and I can totally understand, why you would think that, and I would be more than willing to be convinced of that if you could put an argument forward to me to be like, this is why he's worth $1 million. So it's not like I'm fully against the idea.
You're not married to the idea.
Nah, not at all.
If you looked at $1 million players though in rugby league and worked out how many times they touched the footy, like it'd be interesting to see what you're getting paid per touch.
And also, maybe then you'd also look at meaningful touches, like touches that contribute to try assists.
Like he's a fucking nut trucker of note. You know what I mean?
Well, I think it's disrespectful to even call him a nut trucker. Not that there's anything wrong with being a nut trucker, but like nut truckers aren't getting paid $1 million.
You know what I mean?
Tell you that.
He's nut truckers like go to.
Yeah.
Like nut truckers love. He's their god.
Well,
but
he's the poster on a nut trucker's wall.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
The nut trucker
wishes
could.
Yeah.
That could.
Yeah.
The nut trucker that could.
The nut trucker that could. Now, he also plays for New South Wales. Just wanted to throw that in there.
Worth mentioning.
Worth mentioning, Tom. But again, it seems like a fuckload of money. If the cap, I don't think the cap's doing a whole lot in the predicted future because of the money troubles of the past. Seems outrageous to spend $1 million.
The way I see it is this: is like $1 million is reserved for can this player take us to finals footy and challenging for a premiership. There's only a few players that can do that, in my opinion. I think it's like Munster, Tedesco, Cleary, Travojevic.
Ponga. Ponga, would you give him $1 million?
Probably not at the moment, but I do believe he has the talent to do that. Yep. It's just going to get on the field. And also, I think there's other factors with Ponga. He's such a superstar that like sometimes you might have to pay that because he's such a superstar. But there's very few players at the moment that you could sit there and go, if I purchase this player, we will be top 6 or challenging for a premiership. And I think that's what you've got to reserve $1 million for. Now, market pressures may dictate where the Broncos have to, because right now, if the Broncos lose him, holy shit. Holy shit.
Bruh, that'll be the funniest day.
But like, think about a Broncos side without Payne Haas. Like, we're not going well now. Imagine how bad we'd be going without him.
Who's going to pay $1 million for him though?
Tigers.
Look,
besides stating the obvious.
See, this is where I think like you might be able to get a side that is like even a Parramatta Eels maybe. I don't know. I mean, I know they've got a little bit of money in their cap. You know what I mean? Like a side that has like a guy like Moses, I think, is on about 700 to 800.
When's his deal up?
But I thought the Eels aren't going to pay $1 million. Don't they have this system that they're sort of playing
100%.
to and like?
I don't think they
read money. Sorry, bro.
I'm more talking about
300 or fuck off.
I'm talking more about a team that could like maybe afford him and has the setup to use him the way they need to be used.
Yeah.
Whereas like the Broncos right now don't have the setup to like use him the way he needs to be used because we're struggling. But yeah, it's an interesting question. Who would pay $1 million for Payne Haas? Like, it's a tough one. It's because his numbers are some of the greatest we've ever seen. But he's a front rower. It's kind of like a winger. Like no matter how good a winger is, you're never going to pay too much for him because their role just isn't that important compared to, relatively speaking. I think the roles where you want to pay $1 million, a half, a 5/8, maybe a fullback. Outside of that, I probably wouldn't be paying $1 million.
David
for anyone.
Fafita.
That buy was more to attract other players, I think. Like, just to...
It was only 2 years.
It was 2 years, and it was more just like the Titans couldn't recruit anyone. Like, they were out in the market, paying massive overs for Fafita. It builds hype. We're able to bring other players to the club. But absolutely, like right now, Fafita, although, like if Fafita was on 600K, everyone would have been like last year was outrageously good by Fafita. But right now, is he worth $1.2 million to that side just playing? Probably not. He's probably more around. And I don't think, and he's an incredible player, but I don't think any back row is probably worth $1.2 million. So if it's really tough though, because it's not just a matter of like, is he worth $1 million? It's a matter of, can you afford to lose him? You know?
Well, that's the thing. Like in a situation like this, if Broncos front up and go, mate, full transparency, we can't pay $1 million. Is the agent only sort of able to push that narrative to a certain point without someone else offering $1 million? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he can ask for $1 million all you want, but what if no one's prepared to pay it?
Absolutely. But the tough thing though is like, he may be saying, give him $1 million or we'll take 600K from the Melbourne Storm. You know what I mean? Like, if we're going to take unders, we're
doing it with the Roosters or the Storm.
Yeah.
Where we can win
Manly.
the comp.
100%.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And so it puts...
For sure.
It puts...
Sit down to the Peninsula, baby.
Well, look,
we could do $1 million.
We can do it. Look, if you want to do $1 million, we'll do $1 million on Peninsula. No problem.
We can also get you some fucking third parties.
We'll like, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, we'll work the third parties.
We'll work the third parties. We work the blower.
Yeah, okay.
That's an offer to Payne.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that official?
That's
That's
official.
an official
if the
offer.
Broncos fuck ya, come down to the Peninsula. We'll put you on the books for 500. Tom and I work the blower.
Well, we get on the blower.
We'll get on the blower. We'll get you 5.
You do what you do. We do what we do.
Sell.
How hard do you reckon
sell.
that blower's getting worked?
I will work that
pound it
blower.
into the earth.
Then they'd 4 or 5 blowers on the go.
Yeah.
Please hold. Bang. That's it, mate. I'll get you that 500 and fucking boom.
Okay.
Couple of days.
All right, boys. All right. I'm a business.
Brookvale Mazda.
Yep.
Get your car.
I'm a business.
Yep.
Yous are pitching to me why I should give Payne Haas $100,000 in brown paper bags.
Yes.
So who do you work for? Brookvale who? Mazda.
Are you telling me your business?
No, I'm Bloke in a bar.
Do you want to sell the most beer you've ever sold in your entire life? Put Payne Haas on the can.
Yeah. That's it.
You'll allow me to do that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you
fucking
spoken to him?
Likeness rights. Yeah. We're fucking working for
I
him.
mean, we're working the blower.
Put Payne on the can.
Put Payne on the can. So you're telling
Payne
me
in a bar.
Yeah.
Payne in a pub?
Payne in a pub.
Well, you do a different type of beer, like a Payne Lager or a Payne IPA. And
But we've already been over this as well. You get on the blower to Haas avocados and you go bang.
Yeah, there you go. Haas
There you go.
avocados.
So
That's
you
the
walk,
first one.
you walk
That's $1
into,
million
you
bucks.
walk into any, Harris Farm, Woolies in the country, and there's a big cardboard cutout, and it's Payne Haas, holding Haas avocados. Go and buy these fuckers.
That's already $1 million. So you're already on 1.5
So he's at 1.5 right now.
They would be doing, Haas avocados would be doing 1 million avocados a day.
Yeah.
If Payne was rocking them.
Wow. Isn't there also like a car brand called Haas as well in like
There you go.
the European
Yeah, F1.
F1?
Yeah.
Maybe get on the blower to them.
Well,
Yeah.
we get him out there. We get him. Look, the Melbourne F1's coming up as well. We get him down trackside, photo opportunities.
Get him to race an F1 car.
Get him racing F1.
There's Haas F1, there's half NASCAR, I think.
Yeah.
Like Haas NASCAR. So
Okay.
already I've come up with award-winning ideas.
Like, award-winning.
Okay.
Yeah.
What award show is that at?
The advertising fucking awards.
Awards. Yeah. Advertisers Awards.
The annual advertising
The
awards.
AAs.
The triple A's. Prestigious.
Have you won those awards
Read a
before?
book, mate.
Yeah. Advertising's Night of Nights.
So, look, I've already got the money. It can be done if
Okay.
you come to the Peninsula.
So that's an official offer.
Yep.
You've got
500 plus 5, 6, 700 guaranteed in third parties.
5, 6, 7, 8.
9, 10.
Maybe $1 million. If we get Haas avocados, it's $1 million a year.
Put it this way: there's no ceiling on what you could earn with us.
And I've got 100K in brown paper bags.
Yeah.
I don't know why you involved.
Well, you just pitched me. You said I
Well,
put his
you
fucking
asked us to
face.
pitch you.
Yeah, but I was like, I don't really see a whole lot of synergy.
I've been
I see
brushed.
more synergy with
Haas
Haas
avocados.
avocados.
What the fuck? I just offered $100,000.
Yeah,
it's not enough.
It's not enough,
Oh,
dude.
fucking hell.
It's
3,
not
4,
enough.
4, 4.
Okay, 400.
400.
Yep, done.
He doesn't want to have to do anything though. He doesn't. He doesn't.
No
want to have-
association with
No,
no
you, just put it, you
association.
can just put his like a silhouette of him on your can.
We'll take a couple of photos of him holding a
Silhouette?
can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Put a silhouette on
How
there.
will you know it's Payne Haas?
Well, because the silhouette tells you.
Yeah.
It says this is Payne Haas.
So I can't use his likeness at all.
No, you can't.
You
But
can
we'll
use
get him.
his silhouette.
Yeah.
His silhouette's
shadow.
likeness.
Or his shadow.
His shadow.
Have you guys got that trademarked, his silhouette's likeness?
Yes.
Look it up.
Don't anyone try to use Payne Haas Silhouette's license because
we'll fucking
trademark.
We'll bury
sue.
you.
We'll sue.
Trademarked in every category. And there's like 40.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, and country.
So I have to sponsor a guy, but I can't use his likeness at all.
Correct. He'll post 3 Instagrams across the entire year.
3 stories.
3 stories. And he'll hold the beer in one of them.
And he'll say, shout out to Bloke, but he won't tag me.
No, he's just shouting you out. He's just going to have... There'll be a can somewhere in the picture.
Oh,
It'll
fuck.
be him watching the footy with the boys, and then like
A can in the background.
right in the
Fucking
back.
hell.
That's 400 grand.
That's fucked.
That's
a
the
shit
power of
deal.
that. That's the
That's a
influence.
good deal.
I feel like it's a bad deal for
No,
me.
it's a good deal for
it's
you.
not.
Fucking
You've
hell.
already agreed, so
Yeah.
Could you imagine an awards night for advertising how like because they're all like salesmen?
Dude, there is
there
100%
is
awards nights,
advertising
right?
awards.
Really?
Yeah. You win like gold, fucking rhinos or something.
Yeah.
Lions.
Gold rhinos.
Cairns Lions. There's something Lions.
Our mate went to it.
Pritchard.
Shout
Shout out to Zach.
So it's a legit
How is
thing.
that?
the
Oh,
advertising.
Well, there's
it's
international ones and there's local ones and shit.
And do
like
people
there's-
like big dicky other people? Like,
Of course they would do. Advertising
I'd
guys
be like, that
love
idea,
big
that was
dick
mine.
swinging.
It's like, you know.
I'll sell you a pen. They do that
Yeah,
shit.
exactly. All that shit.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, pen shit.
Pen shit. How many pens do you reckon have been sold with that?
I mean, the pen, unfortunately, going the way of the fucking Discman a little bit. Pen's not used as much
Well, pen's still
getting around.
Pens. Look, the halcyon days of the pen, long gone.
Yeah.
we know that. But pens are hanging on.
But I think they're certainly hanging on. But like again, pens are the lifespan of a pen just is like triple.
Tell you what,
quadruple.
pens are good. Pens are handy.
They're good to have around.
Yeah.
I like to always have one on me.
Do you
But I
ever
don't
officially
use it.
own a pen? Because they get stolen so regularly.
No,
and
you
it's
don't.
almost
It's like you don't own a lighter either.
Yeah.
No.
So they're just like communal kind of stuff if you purchase it.
It's a really
It's funny
kind of
'cause
nice
they don't
global community. Of
Pens and lighters don't sit in circulation, so they like come into circulation and then they might be passed around briefly, and then they like end up in a drawer
for years.
or like underneath a fucking couch or something. Like they're not handed around to people.
No.
Does that make sense? Like lighters, like people have jars full of lighters.
That's
Who are those
true.
people?
Used to be me.
Oh, really?
I used to have a drawer full of lighters that you just come home for a big night and just
Vegan cigarette?
nah, not me.
Not for him.
That's not. You're not like that.
Nah.
It's more of a me thing.
Back in the day.
Oh, it's you.
Oh,
Back in
yeah.
the day.
I'll say not you.
Yeah, I used to roast them up back in the day, but
Roast
not
him
anymore.
up. Actually, my brother gave me a really nice pen for my wedding.
Well, see, that's
And it's like
nice
Onyx.
pens.
Hey?
A fountain, an onyx.
Yeah, like as in you dip it into ink and lock.
Oh, a quill.
It's like a hectic, yeah. It's like gold plated and that.
Oh shit! See,
Yeah.
I like that. Like pens, top tier pens. There's still a place for them. There always will be.
Yeah.
But your sort of
Very
your
classy.
lower tier pens are sort of
We can use that when we sign Payne Haas on with you. Get the fucking quill out.
There you go. And then he's gonna
It's
want.
actually
He's gonna want
supposed to
that.
be. It's being saved for something else though, but so I don't want to use it. But like
What's it?
before
What's it
that,
being saved for? You don't want to say?
well, I don't want to say because I just said something else.
Well, you said something else, but you didn't
Something else
specify.
means I don't want to say.
Okay. Well, then I think you've just lost Payne Haas.
Because Payne will want the pen.
Payne
So
will want
Payne
that
only
pen.
signs contract with those kind of pens.
But then he'll want the pen.
No,
as well, so-
not necessarily, but I can guarantee you right now that he knows about that pen, he's going to want to use that pen. He's going to want to own that pen.
He is an alpha dog, so he doesn't. Yeah.
What are you going to say to Payne?
Payne Haas has never given a pen back. I know that.
Especially you, little beta Queenslander. What are you going to do?
Fucking hell.
Respectfully, of course.
What's
but
with the
like-
insults today?
No, I'm just saying, what are you going to do when Payne Haas, an alpha,
Yeah.
who's from New South Wales, goes, give me the pen?
Just run away.
Yep.
He's pretty quick.
He is
is
quick
quick.
for a big
He is
fella.
quick.
I remember when I heard stories about like, oh, he's winning fitness, and you always hear those yarns. And I'm like, nah, don't believe it. There's no way he's beaten little whippets. Like that doesn't happen on footy training. But apparently it's true. He beats like the little whippets in long fitness drills,
Jesus
which
Christ.
is unheard of. Like I personally have never seen that shit. So that's pretty impressive. If you're a club, how much would you pay for Payne Haas though?
8 or 9. 8.
Yeah.
Manly's paying Marty to power 8 if you believe the fucking
Really?
Yeah,
papers.
I've heard that on good authority. I'd think 8-ish, 850.
850?
850.
Yeah, it just depends where your team's at. Eh? Like, you know,
Again, like it's, yeah.
if I'm Payne and I can't get a mill at the Bronx, I'm genuinely going, well, let's go win Prems, baby, for like 700K.
Yeah.
Like Storm would pay 7, Roosters would pay like any club in the whole, and like your life isn't going to change that much. If you earn 700K, your life's no different to if you earn $1 million. Like it truly is. If you can't be rich and invest well with 700K, you're not going to do it with $1 million.
Yep.
And so if I'm his manager, that's what I'm saying to him. I'm saying like, you know,
Get
you
the
can.
fuck out of Brisbane.
I'm saying, look, you can build something big at Brisbane, but if you don't want to do that, we can get good coin at other clubs and win prems. But if he leaves,
You saying Brisbane aren't going to win Prem?
That's what he's saying.
That's what he's saying. Wow.
Read
Wow.
between the lines.
I think we're still a recruit away from challenging.
What do you need?
Probably a 9 or a 6, I'd say.
Where's Jake Turpin?
He's playing 9.
Is he playing 9?
Yeah.
I was watching the game. I was like, where the
Look,
fuck-
he gets through a lot of work, and he's still an NRL standard 9. I just think that he just needs a bit more confidence, you know, choosing to run. You know, he's still an NRL quality hooker, but just we'll see how he goes this year. Like, because he came on the scene and was really, really good, almost to the point where they were saying, oh, he might be put in for Origin when Smithy kind of retires. And he's had a few injuries here and there, and so I think his confidence is a little bit down, but I still think he's a good quality NRL hooker, but he just has to, there's just a few things in the games he needs to improve on. But I personally would love to see us chase Munster. I think he'd be a great buy for the Broncos.
Well, yeah, he would. Not
an
gonna happen.
out-and-out winner.
Yeah, you mean a 2-time premiership winner, Australia and fucking Queensland rep.
And New South Wales dominator.
Yeah, he might go right.
He might
He
go
could
right.
be
Yeah, he does annoy us. I'll be honest about that. He fucking pisses me off.
See his chop the other day?
He's so
that haircut was-
wildly talented. It's annoying.
I heard someone leave a comment though where it was like, tell me you want to leave the Storm without telling me you want to leave the Storm.
Mate, he's...
Yeah, he'd be a pretty good buy for you. Yeah.
yeah. But
Sure thing.
a lot of
Dude,
people don't...
imagine like if you could get Thurston
But what if the
back.
Dolphins? But
Yeah,
what
we
if the
fucking
Dolphins go? How does 1.5 sound, bruh?
Fuck.
That's fucking crazy, mate.
Yeah.
That
I
is
reckon he'd
crazy
get it.
money. Do you reckon the Dolphins would offer him that?
They don't have a big dick.
They've got
yet.
no dick.
They don't have it.
They're dickless at the moment.
They're dickless. They're dickless.
Dickless Dolphins.
They've got a few dicks.
Dickless Dolphins.
You know what I mean? They don't have an alpha. They
The
have
big
a
dick.
stud.
They got dicks though.
No, they don't have a. They don't. They've got
some-
balls. They've got sacks and balls. They need a dick.
Okay, so the engine room. They've got the engine room,
Yeah.
but not the big dick.
Yeah.
They need a dick.
Yeah.
Okay. And
The
Munster
dickless
is
Dolphins.
that dick.
He's that dick.
Well, or Ponga would be that dick. But
Nah,
Munster's
Munster's the number one dick. I think.
the first dick if you're picking a dick. But
Well,
Ponga a dick as
Cleary's
well.
also a dick.
Cleary's a dick, but Cleary's not like he seems happy.
He's a
playing
loyal
for
dick.
Papa.
He's a loyal
got
dick.
the panther on his body. It'd
Dude,
be weird if he left now.
Cleary's a happy dick in Penrith.
happy dick. He's getting
Well,
plenty
you
of
reckon
action.
Munster's a sad dick right now?
Well,
I think that there is
I think he's a dick who's looking for other.
his dick. He's
a
looking
bendy
over his
dick.
shoulder a little
Well,
bit.
for other things.
Yeah,
too.
maybe it's a kink dick.
He's a kink dick.
He's got a kink dick.
might
He's got a
be-
kink.
He
You
might-
gotta straighten him up.
He might kink. He might kink. Oh, look, if I'm Wayne, I'm going, bring that kink dick up here.
Straighten. And I'll
give him-
straighten it out.
give him-
Straighten it
and
out.
I'll straighten that fucking dick out, but give him 1.5.
Yeah.
A
Well,
million-
1.5 will straighten out the
Yeah,
kink dick.
I was gonna
kinkiest
say.
of dicks.
1.5,
So straighten out
3
a dick.
years, straighten that fucker.
Yeah. It could be a bloody twirly straw before he gets
You what?
there.
You wouldn't pay 1.5 if you're the Dolphins? Yes, you would.
Dickless
Yeah, I
Dolphins?
would. I'm not saying. I'm not saying that I would. The Dolphins have dicks, literally.
Yes, they
Yeah,
do.
they do.
Not
They
those
fuck
ones,
for
though.
pleasure.
Really? Wow.
They're
I don't.
randy.
I only do it for procreation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That doesn't surprise anyone.
Hey, you're laughing at that too hard, bro.
You know, it was great. It was a great call. You know what I mean? And it was true. So
But
it
there was like
you
a
know.
deep. There was like a deep joy I saw in your
Well,
eyes.
the reason I laughed at it was firstly because clearly it's true, and secondly because it was funny. So, like, you know, what do you do? What do you do?
Wow, it's a tough gig. Tough
Well,
gig.
dude, you're a missionary, vanilla ice cream, fuck for procreation.
Procreation guy, yeah.
Bro, we have gone over this. Missionary and vanilla ice cream are not considered boring.
No, but they're very sex for procreation sort of choices.
Yeah,
You know?
okay.
Yeah,
So-
you're not gonna select doggy if you're a procreation guy. I don't
No.
think.
I don't know.
Well,
I don't know.
I'd be shocked.
yeah, it would be.
Gets a bit wild sometimes.
Does it?
So you're trying. Congratulations.
It's like that 40-year-old version where he's like, "What do the boobs feel like?" And he's like, "They feel like bag of sand."
Bags of
Great
sand.
scene. Great scene.
Oh, what a
Great
movie!
scene.
What a movie! Now, talking about kicking a tiger when it's down. So, the media just randomly report that Farah was basically saying, "Don't blame me, blame that effing C-bomb up there," about Madge. But what I don't know is like, how could you possibly be sure enough to, first of all, if you heard it, to then report it to reporters, and then reporters report it? There's no evidence that it happened.
When, Denon, in the history of rugby league football, has there been a requirement of evidence to say anything?
But
In
like
rugby
this
league.
is this
In
is
rugby league.
this is literally saying that he is verbally abusing his boss. Like that's you've got to have some evidence for that.
I heard that he actually was plotting to murder him. That's what I heard on the sideline. That he was going to murder Madge.
He literally went through a plot of like, I'm going to sneak into his house.
Yeah. He goes, well, he's going to wait for the end of training. He's going to be the dimly lit at Tigers. That's not because it's dark, just because they can't afford good lighting. And I'm going to sneak out there and I'm going to come up behind him.
You heard all this.
Yeah. And I'm going to sneak up behind him and chloroform over the mouth so he passes out, doesn't fight him, drag him to the back of the car, and then I'm going to drive that car into a river and I'm going to bounce.
He said this behind the try line.
That's what I heard he said. I don't know.
He haven't got authority.
No, I've got on good
That
authority.
dribbler who was like, where's your fucking Queensland spirit now?
He's our guy.
He's our mole.
He's our guy.
He's our mole.
So I love Farah's come out and just said, boys, this is a joke. So Farah's come out and said, laughable how the media can make a story out of nothing. In the words of Mark Levy, Tigers are on an easy punching bag at the moment. He was true to his word. I'm Madge's #1 fan. Going to have to try harder than that to tear us apart. Nothing to see here. I love that Farah's...
That's what you'd say if you were going to kill someone, though, right?
Yeah, deflect. I love that Farah can just come out and just put it to bed. Like back in the day, I think a lot of players would be scared to I mean, we see it all the time. But Farah's just gone, fuck that. So that's front foot stuff.
What are these messages he's put here?
Well,
this is Levy. Shout out to Levy. I used to work with Levy. Like messaging him, going, I've heard this. Like they were call all these Tigers fans are calling up continuous call team, I think, and going like, oi, fucking Robbie Farah wants to murder Madge, and then he's like, rather than just reporting on it, he's asked him.
Oh, nice. Like that.
Yeah,
like that.
Bit of integrity.
Oh, integrity. It's rare. Didn't even know what that word means.
Yeah. So,
but devil's advocate for a second. Let's say that Robbie did call Madge a cunt.
In the heat of the moment.
In the heat of the moment.
Who cares?
No, well, who cares? But if it comes out, I'd probably lie about it as well.
Yeah, but like it depends. We know that that's one of the most versatile words on the planet. It depends.
So he could have been bigging him up.
He's like, Madge, you mad cunt.
He could have been like, blame that cunt up there.
Yeah, he's a madness cunt up there, bro.
You know what I mean? Richie will be onto this show in a second. We're going to get in trouble.
But it does depend. The word in isolation, it's not enough. You need
context.
You need tone. Tonalities.
Well, listen, you're right. But if we're just going off the words that he's been accused of saying, Sharks getting pounded. Were they getting pounded on the weekend? No, they just played awfully. Tigers, sorry. They just were playing terribly.
This is what the journos that report this is what they want you to say. It's like, oh, this is what he would say if he did say it. Like, there's no evidence. So it's like he shouldn't even have to fucking defend it.
No, that's a good point.
You know, well, that's what journos want, is to be like, sow the seed of doubt so that you go.
If there's people calling up and saying that's what they heard, and I'm not saying that means that it's true, you have a choice of defending it or not, but like, you don't have to do anything. But if there are people saying that you said that, then you're like, you do defend it. Right? Yeah,
but reporting on it with zero evidence, like they're relying on our own biases of like, you know, or maybe Farah did say that. Instead of being like, you have no evidence. So it's like saying, it's like you can say God exists and I can't disprove that. Like,
but isn't that like anything to a degree? Like you're hearing
whispers.
It's an accusation. Yeah, you're hearing whispers.
This is pretty like specific. He said this reportedly. Whereas
look, it's not a good one, right? Like, you don't want to be saying that. You don't want to be accused of saying that about your boss. And he should absolutely have the presumption that he didn't say it, because there's no evidence that he did.
That's what I mean. Like, he deserves the right of presumption of innocence. But I understand what you're saying is like, we if he did, we would kind of never know.
But it's like, I don't think that anything sort of like articulates how fucked up rugby league media can be. Media generally, I'm sure. But then that Buzz Rothfield Pokey article a couple of weeks ago where it was like, they said it was 9 p.m. and then the headline is 10 p.m. And they're acknowledging it. But in small writing at the bottom, I was like, I almost felt when we left, I was like, we were shocked by that. I'm like, I don't know if I was shocked enough.
Tom kept going. You kept going on about it all week.
I was like, what the fuck? How is that?
man's in your head just running around.
It was in my head that week. I was like, that is fucking bonkers to be able to do that.
Well, I mean, it's more evidence of like...
It's fucking outrageous.
I spoke about this on Monday. Look how poorly Laurie played. You can't tell me that article in the media cycle of that didn't affect Laurie mentally as a young man. And there's no recourse. Like, they just put the article out there. He didn't do anything wrong. They created the impression that he did do something wrong. And then Laurie plays like shit, and now he has to deal with all that.
But then they lied about
that was the word.
They fucking till
He's
10
like,
o'clock.
well, I can sell. Can I sell 10? I can sell 10.
Is 9
Nine's
that
not
bad?
late enough.
9's
Yeah.
not late enough. Let's
Yeah.
go 10. 10 sounds better, but we'll say 9 at the very bottom and acknowledge it. But like, who's going to necessarily
No,
know?
because he knows. He's a wily old prick. He's
He
like,
is
people
wily.
go to bed at 10. People don't go to bed at 9.
So yeah, if it's like 10,
Do
you're
you know what I
like,
mean?
ooh,
Ooh,
I'm-
that's bedtime. Oh, it just clicks on your head. That's my bedtime.
How could he be out in the pokies?
How could he be out of the pokies
I'm about
when
to go to
I'm in
sleep.
bed?
Yeah, I mean, so good on Farah for coming out and just saying, I can beat it. Got screenshots and everything. Now, on to some huge news. This is, I mean, you guys have been shivering all day. Are you cold or scared?
No. You've got it completely wrong. You introduced
Yeah,
the
you
segment, and I'll tell you with reality.
Come on.
Okay. But have you been shivering because you're cold or
No,
scared?
I haven't been shivering.
I'm not
haven't been
shivering.
shivering?
I'm in a
Talking
t-shirt,
shit.
bro.
Really? I think you've been shivering.
Nah, no shivering.
I'm in shorts.
Cool as a Kiwi.
You're in shorts?
Yeah.
So you are scared then?
What do you mean? I'm not shivering because I'm not cold because I'm in shorts.
Yeah,
If I
'cause
was
you're
shivering,
not
I'd
cold,
be
you're scared. You're not
Right,
cold,
okay.
you're scared.
Oh, not cold or scared.
Okay.
No, introduce
Yeah,
the
come on.
Now, Cam Smith, Jonathan Thurston Slater, and Josh Hannay have been named as the Queensland Origin staff. Look, when we're talking about the trio you'd want leading you into battle, it doesn't get better than this.
We've been waiting for this as
Yeah.
a state.
Okay.
Fucking retribution.
Retribution.
Yeah.
Payback.
Okay. Walk me through it.
It's time for these motherfuckers to start feeling some pain
Okay.
because they inflicted it for a long time, and you know what? Should have got out when the getting was good because the getting was good.
They've
'Cause
come
they
back
got-
for more. They've got
come
greedy.
back. They've got greedy. They've come back for the trough for another feed.
Okay.
And it's going to be payback time.
Yeah.
We're too stacked, baby. Our side's too hot. And we're going to start to inflict some
This
pain.
is desperate shit, dude. This is like, oi, let's try and sign like all the greatest players and hope they can coach.
I
Even though
see
none of
8
them
in a
have ever
row.
coached.
You see 8 in a row.
And you know what's going to happen? Where's your Queensland spirit going to be? Pick and stick when they lose like 5 series in a row.
okay.
You're going to go, are you going to start asking the tough questions?
Dude, this is really desperate shit. This is desperate. Let's
Desperate.
get Smith, Slater, and Thurston. Josh Hannay, obviously greatest caretaker coach of all time. But like, let's get the 3 like goats to like try and help us win because we're so shit. They can't play.
3 more.
Wow. Yeah. You guys are fucked, actually. This is really bad vibes. for
Wow.
Queensland.
Do you remember the last time you guys said that you're too hot to trot and you had too many weapons in the duffel? Remember that?
Was it in 2021 when we won
When
the
was that?
series? Did we win the series 2021? Did we win that last year? Did we?
Last year. Who's the champs?
I think it's us.
Who are the
Duffel?
champs? That was
technically
that was a
we
COVID year and it was held in November and no one cared.
We won the last
We've been over
game.
that. It was an asterisk.
We won last year.
We won the last game though, so you're only
Who cares? We took our foot off the pedal like you did in the 8 in the row. We only got swept once in that 8 in a row. Do you know what I mean? You take the foot off the pedal when the shield's secured, bruh.
Okay.
You should know that.
I actually think that this is scary signs for Queensland. The systems.
Very scary.
Scary signs for New South Wales.
There you go. Freudian slip. He knows what's coming.
I think it's scary times for New South Wales because the systems he's going to put in place, and also bringing that love for that Queensland jersey, young players wanting to
Do you
play
not
under
think
Smith.
the Queensland have love for the jersey at the moment?
They can have more love.
So they don't love it. Queenslanders don't love the jersey.
Is that what you think?
Are you really, as New South Welshmen, are you really talking about love for the jersey?
Well, you're saying that
you're
they're
saying
going
they
to
don't love the
instill
jersey.
love for the
Never
jersey.
said that. I said that.
So you're saying are you essentially saying the DCE skipper hasn't been instilling love for the jersey in the boys?
That's
Is that
not
what you're
I'm
saying?
I'm
Sorry,
saying they will
Daly.
have more
on
love.
behalf of us and
Are you
the Dirty
saying?
Merger
Are you
podcast.
saying? Are you saying Big Kevy?
What about Christian Welsh? You're saying he doesn't love the Queensland jersey? Sorry, Christian, on behalf of the Dirty Merger
Are you
podcast.
saying? Are you
These
saying Kevy
Queenslanders-
didn't instill love
Kevy,
and passion?
on behalf of the Dirty Merger podcast, I want to apologise for Dennis' comments.
Isn't Kevy like a Queensland Broncos great?
Queensland are smart enough to know that's not what I said. So if your intelligence and as New South Welshmen think that's fine.
Pretty sure that's what
Queenslanders
you
know what
said.
I mean.
It's fucking disgraceful.
When you've got 4 legends leading you into battle.
Why not 5 or 6? This reeks of like the Tigers giving 50 captaincies out. They've got 12 coaches now, Queensland.
It's assistant coaches.
There's
a forwards, a backs coach,
all
and an
named
outside back
Origin
coach.
staff. How many staff do you want, for fuck's sake?
You've got the same amount.
Yeah, but they would have assistants as well.
You're gonna
Yeah.
Definitely.
So they got what, 5 head coaches? You reckon?
There's a head coach, and then there's assistant coaches, and those assistants will have assistants. That's why I'm reading it.
Is that what you're reading?
this is 5.
That's
this
how
is,
I read
This
it,
is
yeah.
4 coaches.
That's how you read it.
That's how I read it.
Cam Smith, JT Slater, and Hannay,
That's
all
your
named
interpretation.
coaches of Queensland.
Yes. And why have you got the greatest assistant coach or temporary coach of all time? Why is he there?
He actually was a really good defender.
That's actually not a good sign.
Because
Great
he's
sign.
not a full-time coach.
No,
He's a temporary coach.
because he's a temp coach,
That's what I
and he
mean.
comes in when things are bad, temps his way, and then leaves.
Yeah, he basically just sort of like keeps the lights on, sort of rocks in and out and then fucks off, or just gets demoted again when someone else comes in over the top. But like, why have you got him there?
Hano's
he's
never
a
been
quality
around,
player.
but he's never been around winning systems.
Yes, he was.
He's always temporary.
Played for Queensland.
Yeah, no, but like,
No,
he's
as
always
a
been a
coach.
temporary sort of guy, temping.
Comes in, like, looks at some leaks and goes, yeah, might have to fix these next year, and then leaves.
And then
Okay.
goes, yeah, I don't know how to fix leaks. I'm out.
Okay. Look, I think that this is
Actually, you're not a
incredible.
No, I'm not a plumber at all. I'm a temporary coach.
There we go. Okay. I think this is incredible. Cam Smith, JT, Slater, Hane, and then you got, those minds, and it's like when Brad Fittler got involved for you guys. He brought extra love, extra passion, and the young players wanted to be a part of it. He was a part of all the development systems. It's why you guys have such a good young squad now, because Fittler got involved like 10 years ago. Matty can attest to this. Brought all those young guys through. It's why he's so dominant. And we are going to do the same thing. We're going to get the young fellas brought through. Obviously, when you speak of assistants, I actually am Cam Smith's assistant. So,
Are you?
Yeah.
Are you gonna?
I'm his assistant. I'm actually the
Are
assistant.
you getting brought into camp?
Yeah, assistant coach.
Really?
to
You're going to be in
Queensland Maroons.
camp?
Assistant coach to the
We've
Queensland
got
Maroons.
Dan and Kemp here. Played one game in the under-20s for Queensland. Is that
Yes.
right?
Yeah. Oh, one or two. But anyway, one.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to give him the knowledge.
Okay.
Give him the knowledge.
Hand out the jerseys.
Yeah, I mean, I can get a tier going.
Yeah,
Get
sure.
the boys rolled
Do you
up.
reckon you could?
Why don't we make you a coach as well? I think you could have 5 coaches.
I'm an assistant coach.
No, but I want you to be a head coach.
Are you the assistant to Cam?
Yeah, to Cam,
Yeah, because you're close.
because we're mates.
Yeah.
And he said, I'm not taking this gig unless Kempy comes with me. That's what he said. And I said, mate, Smithy, whatever you need, mate, I'll get in there. It's almost like Bennett to Bellamy kind of stuff. I'm Bellamy, he's Bennett.
Oh, is that how you
Yeah,
say
that's
it?
how it is.
Okay.
So with all of these Queenslanders in the camp, and the good thing about these guys is like if we're losing, they'll just chuck the boots on and tell you up again.
No, they'll just sack everyone like they did to Kevy and they did to Wayne and they did it to...
I think Kevy left.
What's his
because he
name?
got
What do you?
Former Queensland coach Paul White? What the fuck is his name?
Paul Green?
Paul Green?
Paul Red?
Paul Green.
Paul Green.
Didn't he? He's won a comp, so bit of respect.
Yeah. Well, I think we can all agree that wasn't his comp. Probably
Did he win a
Jonathan's.
Origin series?
Point is this. I think that it looks good on paper. I think that it looks nice.
Papering over the cracks.
You look at that and you go, fuck, 3 Immortals plus a caretaker. That's pretty good.
You're like a shoddy real estate agent who's come and just put a lick of paint on some shithole and you're taking photos in the corner of the room like, oi.
With lighting.
With lighting,
With
yeah.
great
Look how big it is.
Yeah, I'm
and then
pretty
we get there and it's a fucking shit show.
Yeah, no, I think he's are in for a very sad next few years, New South Wales, unfortunately. Next decade's going to be very sad once these boys are involved. It's very unfortunate. But the great Paul Kent has come out and said he doesn't like it.
Of course he
said,
doesn't.
How many games have they coached? And James Hooper replied, how many games have they played? Kent said, that's irrelevant.
Yeah. No, they're not linked.
That doesn't mean they know anything about footy.
Yeah, no, there's nothing there.
What are you talking about?
Now, what's
Mal
interesting,
Meninga, he's a man motivator. He's got in there and just fucking...
he got himself Tony Robbins.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
everything
No,
he
there
knew.
was nothing about his rugby league career that had anything to do with his coaching.
Meanwhile, interesting, New South Wales continue with Fittler, Johns, Badiris, Fitzgibbon and Alexander.
Oh, my God.
That's a horny group of
That's-
individuals.
Okay. What's the difference between that and the Smith bit?
The greatest of all times on that.
Okay.
The greatest player of all time.
Well,
to
a lot
ever
of people
picked
think
up a
Smith is.
Steeden is
Yeah.
just there.
Greatest hooker of all times there as well. And so is the greatest 6.
The greatest 6 of all time, the greatest 7 of all time, the greatest 9 of all time.
And the greatest Craig to ever coach.
Yeah. And a bloke who'd won a Dally Am and
Yeah.
a comp. So...
Obviously, Craig not there anymore, but the rest of them, yes.
Fitzgibbon obviously with...
Well, but Craig
he'll still be around.
He'll
He's a
zoom
phone
in.
call away.
Yeah.
Craig's a phone call away.
Have you heard his blower work?
I haven't heard his blower work. What's it like?
It's
Yeah, it's good.
impeccable.
Yeah, it's
Well, I
really
mean, he got Hines there, and he said, mate, we'll protect your hair.
How do you reckon he got there? Because of his blower work. But I see, look, that just oozes greatness.
To see that, like, that's obviously we're
Do
looking
I
at, we're
reckon?
looking at a white screen, but I see blue. You know, when you see those names,
It
you
looks
just
blue.
see
Yeah.
sky blue. It's beautiful.
Are you telling me Joey Johns isn't the greatest player of all time? Is that what I'm hearing?
Interesting. That's interesting. He's definitely up there, for sure. But, you've got guys like Lockyer, Cameron Smith that are right up there too. It's an interesting conversation. Interesting conversation. I mean, statistically, he's not. Cam Smith's the greatest ever. Statistically.
He's played more games, so like that's
Well, he's won more prems. One
Played
more
games.
awards.
Well, yeah, I mean, cheating side. But
Even JT, I think, he's won the same amount of... Oh, no, he's only won one. But
well,
he's won more Dally
two.
M's.
He's won 2, JT.
He's won two.
Oh, yeah, off the bench.
Bulldogs.
Yeah, JT. He's won 2 Prems. The most Dally M's, I think, of any player.
You know what, though? In that grand final, JT did fucking nothing except for that drop goal.
What a shit take.
That
Is the most disgusting take ever.
Poor old, what's his name?
That is like
Who's the
peak
6?
internet
Who's the
shit
6?
chat.
Who's the 6 for him?
Michael Morgan.
Michael Morgan won that game.
That
for
is
North
like,
Queensland.
if you could take a comment on the internet that is peak shit chat.
Jonathan
that's it.
Thurston didn't do.
Do you back that up,
shit in
Eddie?
that
Are
game.
you behind that?
Yeah.
I think I would say this. I would say that Michael Morgan is underappreciated
Yes.
in that win.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say that JT didn't do anything.
shit. Couldn't kick the
I'm not gonna say
conversion. Barely fucking hit the drop goal.
Oh man, it's like it's funny on the like when you do get like those comments that are serious. You're like, bro, are you fucking like some of the stuff you see in comment sections like a 3 try assist, you know, a try, and it'll be like, man, he made 2 errors, he's shit, like rah, rah. And it's just like, bro, honestly.
Well, dribblers, bro.
Actually, I had a good dribble interaction this morning. So I put the picture up with Darbs obviously winning the SAS thing. And he wrote, wins SAS but can't tackle for shit. And I just wrote, really, bro? Question mark. And he goes, oh, you're right. Congratulations. And I was like, fair enough.
But dude, the dribblers most of the time I think are trying to like be trolly. Like as in, like there's trolling where you like say horrible things about people, but there's trolling where it's like one of the people in the punters and dribblers who was like put a thing where it was like, dude, how the fuck do the AFL let people get on the field like after a guy kicks a goal? Really bad look for the game.
Oh my god!
But he's taking the piss to try and get her out.
He's like, how did they even get him back in their seats? And
Yeah.
then everyone's like, shut up, mate. Like, what are you talking
People
about?
get really
But then he
butthurt.
came back in being like, yeah, but no one's answering the question. Like, how do they get him
So
back
he
into
just
their
smashed it.
seats?
He's
He's trolling
That's
everyone.
great.
Like, so there's
So-
sometimes
What
it's a
happened
bit of
with
fun.
the Warney troll? So there was a guy that came in when Warney obviously passed, and he was like, you know, being really negative.
Dude, I think that was a burner account because
Yeah,
you
okay.
go and look at you go and suss the accounts and you're like, that,
Didn't he leave the group?
we
or-
just kicked him out.
Yeah, he's got
because he was
pizzled.
saying fucking heinous shit. Like
Yeah.
there's having a laugh, as I said. There's having a laugh and like saying something about like the AFL, and there's like saying off shit about Warney.
Yeah.
you know?
Who just died.
And so
Like,
Warney's
later.
thing is tonight, Matt.
Yeah,
Can you check that?
it is.
mate.
Tonight.
I'm gonna watch it. Like maybe Matt.
fucking oath.
It's on Jam.
Yeah,
if you
okay.
want to watch it.
Man, they reckon
Should be on prime time.
They
That's fucking
reckon
disgraceful.
1.2 billion people are going to tune in. That's what. Can you check the deal that? Because I just saw it on the news. They reckon 1 billion.
Oh my god.
That's what they
That's
said.
fucking World Cup stuff.
yeah, like
That's
Super Bowl
World Cup
stuff.
final and Olympics.
That's what the when I was at the gym this morning, bounce rubber, pushing tin,
You can thank India for those
Shit,
numbers.
Steel.
shit and steel.
Shipping.
Oh, ship and steel.
Shipping steel. Shipping
A
steel.
lot of people in
Of course
India,
you know
isn't
that
there?
song.
Well, it's yeah. I mean, I guess it's
They'll
like
be doing the heavy lifting.
oh, yeah.
A lot of Indians be watching. English.
I almost want to start like something that like a sport that has 1 billion people that follow it. So you
That'd
can
be
just,
so good,
Just
yeah.
get like 1% of them that like enjoy it, and you've got 200,000 listeners every.
Maybe
show.
you need to just take rugby league to India.
Yes, that's a good idea. Or
Say
China.
you're-
I am
say
Chinese.
You are Chinese.
I
and
am
you could-
Chinese.
you could just say you're half Indian, half Chinese, and go over there and say that you're the greatest Indian Chinese footballer of all time.
The thing is, I
You
can't.
might
Even,
have to just start watching cricket.
I can't even. I can't even claim the Chinese best player because To'o is Chinese. So he's fucking beat me. He took my throne.
You could be like former greatest Chinese player.
Have you
Before
played
To'o.
more games than him?
Nah, I don't think so.
He's probably
I played
outplayed you
fuck all
now.
games. What's really funny about my career is it was actually really shit, but because I'm in the community now, people think it was bigger than it was. So it's like when you actually like, if I didn't start doing bloke in a bar, they would have been like, what the fuck happened to fucking that guy with a big nose on the wing for Broncos one year?
Maybe though, because you are in the media, you can just lie and say you're the best Chinese footballer of all time.
Yeah, okay, create
You know what I
narrative.
mean? You're in control.
Propaganda.
You're in control, dude.
Boom.
Yeah.
But Chinese government doesn't really do propaganda though.
No, they don't.
No,
they
they
got a
don't.
keen eye for it. They know they can tell bullshit. It's tough.
Yeah, so what do you got there, Matt? Is it... Oh, it was on the news this morning. They reckon like 1 billion people are going to watch now.
Kemp
Apologies
was
for
high
that.
on fucking pre-workout. He doesn't know what
I was on the
it is.
mesomorph.
Yeah, he doesn't know what's
A
going
million?
on.
Going
Fuck,
skits. Remember pre-workouts like when you were younger?
No.
You just like get all tingly, fucking...
I've never had pre-workout in my life.
Really?
No, I'm not a big still
I would
mover.
like, when
That's-
I was at
still mover?
school and
That
like I
shouldn't
went to the gym,
surprise me.
I'd have like an up and go. There you go, some fucking pre-workout.
yeah, I used to have up and goes as well.
Up and goes were fucking awesome.
Just fill my belly with
Mate,
milk.
up and
yeah,
go...
go and try and exercise.
Up and go is the biggest whirlpool in
Yeah,
history.
what do you
It's all
mean?
sugar.
Oh, really? So it's not 2 milk bricks and milk?
Why is it sweet and chocolatey? I thought that's how we.
It's literally like 20 grams of sugar.
Central.
It's just a Whirlpool.
No,
it's not
it's
healthy.
not.
And so, you know what else is a Whirlpool? Juice. Like you're growing up, you thought
juice
juice was healthy.
I had an apple juice the other day. It was like 150 mils. There was 46 grams of sugar in
Yeah.
it.
Fuck.
Cloudy apple juice.
That's like more than ice cream and shit.
I was halfway through it before I noticed. I go, dear God, would have had it anyway.
I
but,
knew
you know.
this wasn't good for me, but you were still giving them out as like fucking what you'd have at lunch and shit at school as tiny teddies. Obviously, they're like chocolatey and they got, but like you used to just be giving them to kids.
Yeah.
As I hopped in the car today to drive here, my darling wife had obviously bought some for our children, or Evie, but there was a box of fucking tiny teddies in the car that I just pounded into the earth for breakfast.
You had the whole thing.
Yeah.
Well, no, they were packets.
Which one?
Holy
Which,
A box with packets in them.
and you had all the packets.
No, I had 4 packets.
Did you crash?
What
and
ones
burn?
you got? You got
Choc
chocolate?
chip, honey, and chocolate.
You know the best ones that you couldn't ever get in the small packets, but you get in the box. Don't know if they're still going. If they are, probably going to buy some. The vanilla ones with the chocolate bark.
Tiny teddies are still
dark.
good. They hold up. They've held up over time. Tiny teddies, they are still tiny. They are still teddies, and they are still delicious.
I still have shapes all the time.
You do?
Oh, bruh. I have shapes all the
Shapes
time.
are good.
Shapes are fantastic.
This is a hot take, but I reckon in 50, maybe less or more years, but a substantial amount of time, that we're going to view sugar the same way we view like drugs, like as if it's so bad for you and addictive that we'll be like, I can't believe we used to eat that much fucking sugar, because it's full blown addictive.
Oh, it's addictive. I
It's like
quit
the most
cigarettes.
addictive thing.
I
It
quit
kills you the
ciggies
most.
easy. I quit ciggies like fine. Obviously, it's still difficult, but like I just was able to cut that. I've tried to quit sugar, not quit sugar, but like, hey, don't pound ice cream in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
Can't do it.
Can't be done. If someone's got some dairy milk chocolate laying around,
It's gone.
Cadbury,
Yeah.
try and say no to a square.
Even
Try
if
and say
you're
no.
full, even if
Try
you're
and say no.
full and
It doesn't
feel
matter if
sick.
you're bursting. It doesn't matter.
You'll like shove it up your ass if you're full. That's how much you like want it.
No, I'm not going to lie to anyone here because there's no point in lying to anyone. After my cheeseburger fiasco, I was like, I'm not eating for the rest of the day and maybe not till the next day. I fasted for 24 hours was my plan.
Yeah.
Largely I did, except I did find chocolate at my house that night and I had chocolate.
way.
There you go.
Mate, you would have been sugar crash crazy.
Dude, my tum-tum didn't recover for about 7 days, legitimately. Like, I didn't feel sick the whole time, but the
Yeah.
old tum was...
Bubbly and just all weird.
everything was going
On
on.
The Biggest Loser, this is how addictive sugar is. On The Biggest Loser, they try and tempt people with like donuts and shit. Like halfway through working out, they're like, well,
Yeah, here
do you
we
want
go.
this donut? You're
We've
like,
left a pile of Mars bars in the backyard, fatty. Don't go out there. Try and change your life, but Mars bars are outside.
it's pretty fucked up.
It is
but-
actually fucked
but
up
it
now in
speaks to-
retrospect how they
it-
used to just mess with them on that
It's
show.
really fucked up, but it speaks to the addictive nature of sugar,
Yeah.
I think.
And that's and it kills
Yes.
like sugar and bad like diet, but mainly the sugar kills more people than any fucking pretty much one of the biggest killers that we have.
You can see,
Oh, yeah,
like,
mate, diabetes and fucking
heart disease,
obesity
whatever
are
else,
right
obesity.
up there.
Yeah,
But like with
and yet
sugar,
no one talks about it. It's like a drug. It really
Yeah.
is.
Well, because you know who the public enemy number one is? Saturated fats,
True.
Satchy fats.
which is actually not a big deal at all.
What's
But
the difference between
Big Sugar was like, fats are bad.
Yeah, true. They deflected.
Mate, it's one of the great wool pulls all time.
Yeah.
Big Sugar blaming Big Fat.
Whereas actually big fat not that bad.
Big Fat not that bad. It's Big Sugar.
Well,
that's the
yeah,
blame.
fats actually aren't. If you eat them correctly, they're not that bad for you at all.
No, exactly.
I can
Whereas
tell
you can't
what
really
like
say that of
full blown
sugar.
Sugar's
addiction.
just fucked. Yeah.
When you are
So
like,
nice.
I'm not going to eat sugar, and then so like when we'll do about even, Michael will bring in Kit Kats, and I'm trying not to eat sugar, and then it's like I've entered the day going, I'm not going to have one, but before the show's over, my mind has gone, fuck it,
And you've sometimes,
maybe gone for a Twix afterwards.
well, yeah, and you've looked
I've
for,
paired a Kit Kat into a Twix.
but you've looked for support around potentially getting another one.
Anyone want anything else?
I'm heading back up. I'm just going to the toilet.
Just going to the toilet. Maybe I'll fucking trip over and buy myself a Twix and I want one.
You know how you know it's addictive is when you don't eat sugar for a substantial amount of time, you don't crave it at all. Like if you quit sugar for 4 weeks or even longer, you'll see a chocolate bar and be like, nah, not even that.
See, when I was doing my fucking
I've
weight
never
loss
had that.
last year, I was constantly thinking about it.
Really?
I was in the sense of going like, ooh, I could go for some fucking chocolate.
If I'm like working out, if I'm back into a routine of working out and running and shit, I need to have chocolate at some
Really?
point.
It's like a reward or something?
No, as in like I just crave it.
Wow, okay. Maybe it's just me then. If I go without chocolate, without like sugary stuff like ice cream for like a month, it's sweet. Like I don't crave it, nothing. Don't even want it.
I like if I'm being really honest with myself, I think that sugary treats will be in my life forever. I can't.
Yeah, dude.
I can't see me shaking them.
No, I'm not living a life without sugary treats.
It's just not worth
I
living.
just am going to bounce between like abusing them to the point of like having like toxic levels in my body and then like just chilling out for a couple of days.
Yeah. Oh, fuck.
Sleeping it off like a tranquilized bear.
Previews. Now we've got NRL previews. Actually, something I wanted to ask you. You know what I think is funny every time someone scores a try? It's like they're in the middle of celebrating, but when they're like don't want to get hit in the face, so they're like celebrating but like pulling back.
Yeah.
It's like celebration faces need to get better. You need to work on that.
Well, it's hard,
see the
right?
slow-mo.
It's also like your climax face. Like it's very hard in the moment of pure elation or pure satisfaction to be too controlled about what you're doing with your face, right? You kind of just have to go, this probably isn't going to look good.
But like they get like, so you're like, yeah, the boys, but like in the middle of it, they'll be like trying to dodge getting their head hitting that. I just think it's a funny paradox, really. You're celebrating, but also scared that your mate's going to fuck you up in the head.
Yep.
I agree. I think the best is when someone runs through the try line, scores it, and then someone jumps on the back and pushes them forward, and then they sort of all heap and they're moving in one direction. That seems to work all right.
Yeah,
You
and
know?
it looks good because you're like
Because you're moving as one,
forward.
but then
Yeah.
all the heads are facing the different way, and then when it settles, you can turn around and then get into your hugs and your kisses and
Yeah.
your licks and your smooches.
Like when Thurston hit that field goal, only thing he did in that grand final, when they're all celebrating, there's actually like, I think it's like Antonio Winterstein and someone just fly up onto this thing and
Yeah,
they
so you
literally
can't have that.
just miss each other.
Could you imagine you win and you
Split your fucking
So,
head
well,
open.
There's been plenty of times when blokes get split after school.
Well,
I think
Thurston's grand final, he's split open, and that's
Yeah.
because he clashed heads with Lachlan Coote.
Exactly. One of the only things he did in the game.
But that's the problem. The problem with that is that he's in the middle of the field and you're getting people coming from all
Each,
angles.
yeah, okay.
As opposed to a try where you go through the line
Yeah.
towards the adoring
You're all
fan.
marching in one direction. That's right. Anyway.
Celebrations, the try celebrations. Do you like when they do something unique, or are you like, nah, cringe?
Depends what it is, mate.
Okay.
Yeah, it depends. It depends.
If it's fun, I'm
If
like,
it's
fuck
good,
yeah.
it's
Like,
good. You gotta
like,
be good.
Do I like watching replays of Greg Inglis do the goanna? You better fucking believe I do.
Do you know
Riddell
what? I
jumping the
found
crowd?
myself thinking about Greg Inglis the other day, just randomly. This is
What
what
about
I
how
did.
great he was?
Just about going, bro, there was no, like, he might be the greatest player I've ever seen play footy. Just
Look at his highlights.
Just
they're
generally.
wild.
Just generally. And like the period when he played, every game it seemed like he did something fucking hectic. Just always. Fast. I think it was after seeing Latrell just belt it down the field. And I was almost, because he was in South's gear and shit, I was like, God, I'd just love to see Latrell crack a goanna after he scores his try. But it was just, got me thinking about GI generally. And it was just like, dude, he was fucking so good.
No one has highlights like GI.
No, like no one's done, and even like Latrell gets compared to him all the time, but like no one has done or since what Greg did when he came on the scene.
And you forget too, when you go back and watch his highlights, you're going, oh, he actually like fended 3 people across his body in Origin and then jumped over a bloke and then scored a try.
Yeah.
Like,
He jumped over
Such
their
a handful.
corpses on the ground.
fucking crazy.
Such a handful.
I personally believe he's the greatest outside back of all time. Like if you're going to select one
Yes.
guy that could play centre, wing, fullback, even six, you're probably going to go Greg Inglis.
Yep, I agree with that.
Now, segment, NRL previews. Oh, your boys got a win on the weekend. We'll talk about that. A famous win.
Yeah,
One of the
famous
great wins
win.
all time.
Yeah,
One of the great
13-12
wins.
against the Doggies at
Gritty
home.
1 point win against a fucking
In
red
the
hot
pouring
dogs.
rain. In the torrential rain.
Driving rain.
Now,
And there's improvement there. The side can get better. We all know that. But sometimes you've got to ground out a win.
Okay.
You grind out 2 points to get your season going. It was just like get this fucker into first gear and let's roll, baby.
Well, you
Okay.
can't get to second gear without getting in a first.
You got to get into first.
okay.
And that's what we did.
Yeah.
So you're in first gear right now.
Well,
the win was
we
first gear.
got into first. I
Yeah.
think we're getting into second. I think this week we're second to third, and then we roll.
Yeah.
We like playing footy at Mudgee. We got the Raiders. They stink. Like,
They look pretty good the second half.
They stink.
No, they stink.
Okay.
And DCE, 24 field goals now. He ices the game yet again.
Yeah, Mr.
Is he the
Field Goal.
greatest field goal kicker of all time?
Almost.
I think he'd be the most clutch for sure.
Because like
He's
you know,
two off. He's 2 off the all-time NRL record.
which is who?
Yeah, it is.
Sowie.
Correct. It is.
Oh,
Johnny
yeah, Sowie,
But
there's
then they say in the NRL era, I'm like,
Yeah,
are they
'cause-
kicking
'cause-
less field goals
yeah,
than they
'cause
did back in the day?
Eric Sims kicked 1 billion field goals in the 60s because they were worth 2 points.
Well, I don't think he
fully.
kicked a billion.
Well,
Like,
it
let's
was-
be real
That's a
here.
lot of field goals. No
Well,
one's
they
getting
kick
that
more.
record.
Let's assume he kicked more than 24.
Like he kicked 4 a game.
Much
for
less
example.
than a billion though.
4 a game.
Yeah.
Well, it's like rugby union where they just fucking used to ping him like Johnny Wilkinson towed us up fucking World Cup.
Fuck Johnny Wilkins.
2003 to 2000. 11-12 was like the worst rugby union of all time. It was just field goals constantly.
Yeah. Yeah, DCE, he's clutch as. He probably hasn't had as big clutch moments of Thurston 2015 and all that kind of stuff. But when you talk about consistently get the ball in his hands to win a close match,
He wins matches.
He's right up there.
He wins matches.
He's right up there.
Club clutch.
I thought Foran played his best game in a long, pretty much.
Well,
his
we were
best
saying
game.
if you were to look up in the dictionary what nutting on a chest looks like, it's foreign to Ruben Garrick.
You'd agree with this, I reckon. It's the greatest. So the pass he threw to Ruben Garrick is the greatest regular season pass of all time. You'd agree with that.
You would agree with that.
Surely.
Arguably.
Hard to disagree with
I
that.
don't think there's anything to argue.
Okay.
The greatest regular season pass of all time.
All time.
Fucking hell. It's a big call.
Show me a better one. Show me a better pass.
There is not a better pass, so he won't be able to.
Benji Marshall around the back like that.
That wasn't regular season.
No, he did that in the season. He did that in the season.
It was he did it in the grand
Probably he
final.
went to the turf. Boring.
They scored off it.
No.
Nah, fuck that. Fuck that.
Okay, Titans v Tigers. Osako is to play fullback. Campbell is out. Corey Thompson returns to replace Philip Sammy. Tigers, Roberts, Mamalo, Tuolagi all return. Who you got in this game, boys?
If you are trying to pick the outcome of this game, then you're a sick individual who hates themselves. That's what I would say. I won't be picking an outcome for this game. I'll throw some dollary dues on some any-timers, but fuck it. Whoever wins, wins. That's what I'd say, Denon. Don't ask me.
Okay. What about you, Eddie?
I think that we're approaching alarm bells season. Shit, what's that ringing I'm hearing? It's fucking almost like air raid siren. And that's at Tigers headquarters because they've just slumped to a devastating loss.
Yeah.
They've now lost 4 on the trot. Titans smoke and put 13 at least on them. That's what I think happens.
Now, huge call. Campbell out. Now, is it injured? They haven't really said.
Yeah, he's injured.
He is injured.
Yeah.
Osako will do a job.
So what was the injury then?
Oh, I'm trying to remember. Hang on.
I wonder, and this is pure speculation and might be complete horseshit, but I wonder whether it was he's got a little bit of a niggly, maybe we just rest him. You know what I mean? He probably could have played.
But what's the point in risking someone against the Tigers?
No, more. He struggled last game. He was pretty poor, Campbell, last game.
Rib injury.
Rib injury, okay.
Yeah.
It's interesting. He probably is injured, but Osako comes. It's just the timing of it. Osako gets signed, boom, he already gets a crack in there. Campbell.
I will say they do have a 5-day turnaround, the Titans, so that's probably why as well.
Yeah.
Because he sustained it last week in the first half.
And it's the Tigers.
Interesting. Hopefully, because he did struggle last game, there are a few parts of his game he probably needs to sort out. That may explain the way he played in that second half if he had a fucked rib. Very hard to get moving when you got a fucked rib, trust me. Osako, I think he'll be good at the back there. They've got a great back line. Osako's a good ball runner.
You would assume that after that absolute diabolical bed shit that they had against the Raiders, that they just would have to come out.
I think it's a
firing.
solid win by Titans because Tigers are missing Stefano and they're also missing Jackson Hastings and Dewey as well. So, I reckon Titans come back. Huge bounce-back game. It's at home. Titans get the dub.
I do think it's worth noting, though, that Madge reckons that Lukey Brooks will play for Australia, though. So, maybe they win.
Yeah,
Maybe
If he's going to play for Australia, he needs to come out
And win this one.
and win footy games.
Well, this might
by
be...
himself.
He might get selected for Australia off the back of this game.
You reckon he could be that devastating? Put him on for first couple.
I mean, I think Madge has
First.
given him that belief.
Anytime. Last.
Luke Brooks to play for Australia directly after this game.
They'll put a game on just
Don't
for
put
that.
a game on, Luke plays.
So I think what happened with that, so someone came out and said that they don't feel that he's going to reach his potential. I think it was Joey.
Yeah.
And
I'd trust Madge over Joey.
And Madge has come back
When it
out and
comes to
said,
Madge as
I
a
believe he's
halfback.
going to fulfill his potential. It's a strange one because I understand where Madge is coming from. You've got to feel that that's the truth. But at the same time, it's
It's putting more
I
pressure on fucking
don't-
Brooks, I reckon.
yeah, that's what I mean. But
Didn't
also,
they also say that he tried to leave the club twice in the offseason?
yes. But also, I just think I understand where
feel
Madge is
sorry
coming
for
from.
Luke
You've
Brooks.
got to back yourself and you've got to back the club. But the reality of the situation is that relationship, even if they get along off the field, on the field is just not working.
You can't say that, though. That's just crazy talk to say that.
Yeah, I mean, I get you. It's not looking good. It hasn't looked good for very long. What is going to be different in the future that hasn't been in the past? It's not like it's been 2 to 3 years. It's been 8 years now, and he hasn't reached the potential that we thought he would. I think he just needs a new club.
Get out,
He's
dude.
got the talent. I agree with
In
Joey.
the words of the famous JoJo, get out.
Get out.
Right now.
For
The
both
end
people.
of
You and me. He
It's
needs
too
to sing
late,
that to Madge.
And it can't wait for you to be gone.
Cause I know about her and I want. You know JoJo?
I wanna all the
Great song.
night. You say
It's a great song. One of the all-time songs. So actually, if you go on YouTube,
Waste of time.
if you go on YouTube, which is a great mini doco about how a record company screwed her over, wouldn't let her release any music, and
Is that why we lost JoJo?
That's why we lost
didn't hear
JoJo.
from JoJo for so
allegedly, that's from her perspective. Now, it could be.
I believe JoJo.
long. I believe fucking JoJo.
I mean, they were bangers. How do you go from that, and it multiple bangers too? Leave, Get Out,
Yeah.
and
there was another one,
there
but
was
Get
another.
Out was the one that obviously.
But there's
Too
another-
late. Too late was the other one. So Jojo, reach out and let us know what the real story was behind your management screwing you over.
Thank you, JoJo.
But that's a classic. That's a classic. Now, yeah, Titans. I think they get the win. Sharks v the Knights. What a game!
Dude, this is a hot six. This Friday night footy this week is fucking horny.
Mate,
Arguably the best Friday night in a very long time.
Yeah.
the games this year are horny.
Yeah.
Because the competition's so much tighter.
Tightest
And
it's
you're like,
been in
who
a
the
decade.
fuck's going to win, dude? So you foam at the mouth. Like last year, you go yawn.
Yeah.
Now it's like, okay, Knights are ripping and tearing. Played all right against Panthers last week. Sharks are so hot right now.
Hines, talk about a guy ready to be a superstar. Like if he goes
time.
on to like lead them to top 4 and then challenges for a Dally M, he will just explode.
Oh, yeah.
Young hot boy in the beaches.
Give him the 14 jersey for New South Wales. Like, let's get him around that origin.
Oh, Pap's been playing good though.
But you know, it's like, you know.
It's
He's
crazy
not as hot.
how crazy is it that Storm developed like Pap and Hines, like and Drinkwater. I know he's not starting now, but fuck, they're good at developing players.
That's unbelievable. But this will be a doozy of a game.
Is Scotty Drink even? I know this is complete. Is he playing for the Cowboys, or has he been not even making their side?
Hasn't been making their side.
Bro, Scott. Someone's gonna pilfer
If I
Scotty
was the
Drink.
Broncos, I'd be looking.
Yeah, dude.
looking
If
him
I
up.
was anyone, I'd be going Scotty Drink.
all he needs to do is sort his defense out. That's all he needs, and then he's boom.
I think he's got one of the great last names of all time.
Oh, yeah.
Drink water. Like, yeah. Is that like an advertisement for water?
I think it might be Big Water.
Big Water would be after him.
Yeah.
Has Big Water got one of his,
It's got in his ear. He's probably
his
just gone-
great-great-grandfather?
You know what it is,
Go on,
though?
mate.
You know what it fucking is. Forex is a sponsor of Cowboys. They've gone, mate, get him out of the fucking side.
Yeah, this guy's not
Drinking
talking.
water.
He's drinking water.
Get him down to, was it Depot here? Change your name to Drink Beer.
If you do that, you get a start.
Yeah, will you be in a millionaire then?
Scotty Drink Beer.
Oh, well, that would be a name.
Bro, you should be sponsoring him. Scotty Drink Bloke.
Mate, if he changes his name to Scotty Drink Bloke, I'll sponsor him.
How
But
would
I'm
you-
not dealing with you two. I'm dealing
Well,
with.
no,
his-
we're fucking.
No.
It's our idea.
But you don't represent Scotty Drink.
Yeah, we
Bloke.
do.
Fuck.
Well,
Scotty Drink. Maybe come down to Manly.
who
Scotty.
do you think we don't represent?
We've only got a couple of years worth of halves.
there's not many blokes who aren't on our books.
So
You
you
Scotty
would actually
Drink Bloke down there.
Drink Bloke.
Well, not yet. Manly's 4 Pines. It might be Scotty Drink 4 Pines if you're not careful.
Wow.
You got to be careful.
Yeah. Okay.
You got to
Scotty
be
drink
careful,
4
bro.
Pines at 4 Pines
You
Park, putting
punters
4
and
on.
jewelers. Ask yourself what's better, Bloke.
Oh, listen, I'm with you. But if you don't come to the table, then Scotty Drink Bloke or 4 Pines.
You know what? I feel like we offer enough. Scotty's going to know what the true is.
Mate, we can
get him on board.
Scotty Drink Bloke's got a great ring to it.
Yeah.
No
Scotty
one's-
Drink 4 Pines doesn't. We know that.
We know that. We
But-
agree. But money talks.
Okay.
And Scotty
You know what?
listens.
I think
to
Scotty's
money.
And Scotty drinks.
No, I think
cash.
Scotty's is a bit about Scotty, and he's not all just about money. That's what I think.
Well, when you...
That's
when
what
you-
people say
yeah.
until they're offered the big money.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then it's
And
like,
you've got a
okay.
big offer from 4 Points?
We
get
can
offers.
get on the blow up.
We get offers. We're always getting offers.
Is blower? Do you reckon there's advertising people that like their blower work is their specialty?
Yes.
Like it's like, what's your specialty?
I'm a blower.
Get me on the phone with someone, and I will fucking get a deal done.
Well, it's like Jordan Belfort,
Yeah.
as played by Leonardo DiCaprio. His
One of the
blower
all-time
work
movies.
was impeccable.
He created his whole legacy on blower work.
Yeah. That's what he's famous for. His work on the blower.
Yep.
It's extraordinary. How do you see this one, Denon?
I'm going to go. Fuck, this is going to be a cracking clash.
Yeah.
Ooh, I'm going to go.
Ponga's back. Both
know.
Saifidi brothers are playing.
I'm going Sharks for this one. I initially, when you pointed out that Ponga was back and all that, I was like, yes. But then I was thinking back to I haven't seen the Knights games really, except for the first one. But Ponga didn't rip in that first game. They still played well and they have been playing well, but I just like the Sharks and what they're about. I like their forwards. I like Nico Hines. I like Matt Moylan.
You know what the Sharkies are this year as well? Like every single year, like the underdog comes up and they become everyone's like second favourite team.
Yeah.
They go well, everyone starts hating them. It like
Sharks
Penrith
my second
first
favourite
year.
They can't go too well.
Yeah.
You can't go too well.
Well, the
without getting
Raiders,
hate.
everyone loved them that first year.
Yeah.
And then the next year, all of a sudden, like it's honestly, it's so natural for Australians. It's almost like they can't help themselves. As soon as like someone goes too well,
second favourite team, they're going better than your team.
We just love underdogs.
yeah, they can't help. Like we
All it
always
is.
pick the underdog.
Hey,
no matter
people
what.
are so hard for the Sharkies, and rightly so.
Yeah, rightly so. And even the Knights to a degree.
To a lesser degree,
look-
because they don't have Nico Hines.
But I think if Ponga starts to rip for the Knights, and everyone will love the Knights as a second favourite team as well. Because
Or
like
a
you
third.
still need your like.
Is Hines the most crushed on man in the NRL right now?
Yes, dude. He must be having a field day.
Most blokes per capita have a crush on him in the country.
He would be destroying
And
the
chicks,
Shire.
dude. We did a thing about having
His
a crush on
Shire
him.
work would be
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Biblical.
Well, it'll be a thing
It'd
of
be
legend.
biblical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're talking pissing your mouth.
Jesus himself would go, they're numbers, bro.
Oh, shit. Putting in some work.
You're putting in some work. You're putting me to
Imagine that
shame, bro.
wet hair just going down Northies. Like you'd see the wet hair from a mile away as well. Just going, holy shit! Is that just a hot surfer dude? No, it's fucking Nico Hines.
That's Nico Hines.
Fresh off another W.
Just
Fresh off 3 more Dally M points.
What about
UNESCO
Art-
World Heritage Protected Rainforest on top of his head.
first game back at the Sharks, pings over the match-winning conversion.
Yep.
Down
Scored
in
a try, last one.
He may as well just
pounded
ran off the field to
fucking
Northies.
Dragons into the earth.
That was a
Mate, he just goes,
yeah.
give me the seed. Bang. Chucks that nut over the line.
Yeah.
Try time. Gets me $7.
I'm going to
Beautiful.
go. Ooh, this is so fucking hard. I'm going to go Knights.
I'm tipping the Knights as well.
I'm going to go Knights. Ponga
Tip the
return.
Knights.
They got a bit about them. Going to go the
I'm
Knights.
going to be tight, though.
It'll be tight, but
She'll be tight.
oh, the Sharks, they're my smokies for a top six. They've been playing. I think
You've already. Are you going to change? Come on, mate. What are we doing?
right now, both those teams, in my opinion, like as in just now, are playing top 4 footy.
Big time.
But obviously, it's a long year. I'm going to go Knights. Knights just. Panthers v Souths. Cleary returns.
Yeah.
Is he back?
He's back,
He's
back,
back.
baby. He's a
Panthers,
big
I think, are
fucking
going
dick
to.
back.
I think Panthers are going to pump them, like 13 plus.
Really?
Yeah. Souths are good, and they were good against the Roosters, but I just don't know if the Roosters are giving anyone a clear read on where they're at.
Roosters are going to take a bit to click, I think.
Yeah.
Hot
Cleary
and cold.
back.
I think the quality of Penrith against Souths, like Souths were good last week, but whether they can consistently do it, I think Panthers are just going to
then-
come out and like.
But is South starting to click now, you know? Like was last week just...
Was that the clicking?
moment.
Was that them clicking?
Maybe.
It's fucking
It's been
tough.
it's their third tough game. They went Storm.
They've had the worst.
Yeah,
opening.
Storm into Panthers.
Manly's had the worst. The second week.
Yeah, look, I hate to pick against South because I picked against them last week and they fucking won. But
I picked them.
Panthers, Cleary.
You picked them.
I picked South on the
Pick
show.
South?
On this show.
As in
Not-
last
not
week.
this
Oh,
game.
yeah. But this week are you picking them?
On this show last week I picked South. This week I'm picking the Panthers.
I just think Cleary back is fucking
He's
tough.
mate. What do you? He's too good. He'll come back and make a fucking statement. I reckon. Go. Forget about me, boy.
Now, on to the Kemp Cup. Warriors v the Broncos.
The Kemp Cup. Who do you support in this fixture?
Broncos.
Really?
Yeah.
Dog.
Johnson's named at jersey 24. Capable in reserve grade with a car problem. Flegler comes back from suspension. Ryan James promoted to starting side. I think the Broncos bounced back from a poor performance last week.
I think the Warriors get their first win, but I won't be actually betting on outcomes of this game because two losers playing each other. But I think that I'm going to tip the Warriors because if anyone's going to win, it'll be them.
Yeah, I think the Warriors are due a win. I did not like what I saw out of the Broncos last
No,
week.
neither did I.
Sunday
You guys are
afternoon.
getting high on your own supply, 2 early season wins.
And you get, look, at Suncorp against, you know, an old rival, you get the 4 p.m. Sunday afternoon slot. It was all set up for you.
Yeah, it
And you
was.
got absolutely pumped.
Also, the Warriors did win last week. I'll just point that out.
Oh, they did,
They
yeah.
did. Well,
16
they're
to
going to
all?
go back to back. They're going to go back to back because the Broncos, they're on a slump already, Broncos. The Broncos might have won their last game for the year.
Look, I'm not ruling it out.
No.
Oh, no, they'll bet the Tigers.
I hope they don't. I hope
But
they don't.
I
Tigers
just...
actually touted us up a couple of years ago.
Yeah, I think the Warriors.
Warriors? Okay,
Yeah.
I'm going Broncos. Now, Manly
Cody
Raiders.
Nicaragua to score a try.
Manly are going to pump these losers. Apparently, after Manly's last three wins of the season.
Yep.
Do your own research on this. I've glanced
No,
at this stat.
I'll back you up.
Yeah, after Manly's the last 3 seasons when Manly's got their first win of the season, the next week they've won by a minimum of 26 points. So they're going to pound these fucking losers.
And in
the
every
earth.
occasion, Manly's won by a point to get their season started.
Yeah.
And then the next week, they've won by a minimum of 26 points.
And to add to that, last year they won by 1, and the next week was at Mudgee.
And
against
we
the
pumped.
Titans, we pumped them.
Yeah,
so
okay.
Raiders,
Do you see what we see?
Nope.
You don't see what we see.
you don't see that?
Nope.
Have you
So
got?
you're not a
I
patternist.
see,
Are you blind?
I see Raiders absolutely annihilating Manly this weekend.
Fuck off, mate.
That's ridiculous.
Annihilating?
Annihilating.
Come on now.
Did you say you
Come
just
on
finished? You just finished pumping up Four and saying he's the best 6 in the comp.
Where's Schuster?
Agreeing.
return? You missed Schuster.
Well,
Massively.
yeah.
We
Big
do
time.
miss Josh. Josh knows that. We all know that.
Josh Alloway's back?
No, but he's not. He wasn't named. So maybe they're just giving him a week in the Reggies to,
Right.
Bit of drama.
So
Drama in the
Listen,
club.
I'd
look,
say there's
he got me very excited when he said I'm back.
Yeah, no, I know.
I think
that
we're obviously
we damn Manly players all the time. Whatever.
I'm surprised at how much you do miss Schuster though. I think he was a bit taken for granted last year of how fucking good he was. But he just adds so much to your attack.
He's a point of difference.
Massive point of difference. Whereas at the moment, it's, Foreign stepped up and got the ball in his hands more, I think, last game. But I think DCE sometimes he needs to offload responsibility to other people rather than just ripping and tearing himself.
There's probably a couple of players that need to perform for Manly in this game, or their, maybe their position in the side.
Do you think Harper will get named? Or I think he has
He's
been
been named. He's been named. I think he'll play. I think he did enough last year and played well enough over the course of the year to be like, you can still come good, but you need to sort your shit out.
I think they need to talk. I think Des was had the chat with him like, mate, it's now or never.
Yeah.
I need something.
Yeah, show me something.
And he's got it. He was one of my
He's
favourite
got it.
centres.
I think our big thickies, our nut truckers need to probably truck a little bit of
You just
nut.
don't seem to be playing as a group in the forward pack. It just seems like very individual efforts. So whereas last year everyone was on board, but yeah, I think Raiders win the game.
Manly pump them.
Not annihilation, but Raiders win the game. I just think Raiders looked really good in that second half. I think they've found the mojo. Are they going to be the same as what they were a couple of years ago? Probably not. But I think there's the fucking answer. There's the blueprint. Just do that. Papali'i looked really good. Whiten played incredible. Starling was great. Tomoko, if your centres aren't up to it, Tomoko's going to fucking tease apart.
Nah. Centers are up.
So, yeah, look, I'm going. I think
Centers are
Raiders-
up to it because Des has sat him down and said, boys, listen here, this is what I expect. This is the standard. Now we need greatness out of you.
Okay.
And I think this is where you get it done. Manly, a strong affinity with playing great football in Mudgee. That's where the game is.
Yep.
Well, just great football generally, but
Raiders are hot and cold.
Like,
They played a good second half last week against a Titan side that took the foot off the pedal, but Manly, we can't handle the Raiders?
Okay.
Is that what
Interesting. Interesting. Cowboys, Roosters. Roosters, I mean, Cowboys, I know you guys put shit on them, but I actually think they're playing some good footy.
No, they are. I don't mind the Cowboys.
I think they are playing good footy.
Yeah.
The Broncos are shit, but they are playing.
Are we
some good
talking
footy.
vintage Holmes right now? He was amazing.
Yeah, he did play well, didn't he?
Nanai's also great.
Holmes is fucking good.
What about
He's
Vinny
fucking
Chase as well? Chatty Townsend, he's getting into his work.
good. He's been fucking good.
Yeah.
He's been very good.
And a lot of people were bagging him when he signed.
We were bagging him.
I was always like, he's won a prem. People don't understand. He
No,
brings the intangibles.
I will give you credit where credit's due.
Thank you.
You were all over Chad.
Yep.
AKA
Yeah,
Vinny Chase.
Vinny Chase.
And
You know what it
at
was?
the moment at least, it's working.
The McGill and me appreciated the McGill and him.
Yep.
Whereas you guys
Couple
don't.
of Magoo's sucking each other off.
Magoo recognises Magoo.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that. That makes sense.
Wow.
I think the Roosters should win this game, right? They've got too many weapons in the duffel. They have been hot and cold. Like the game against the Knights, I was like, what fucking side am I watching? Then against Manly, they put in one of the great performances all time.
Well, one of the great rugby league performances.
And then they play South, and it's back to the drawing board.
If they lose to the Cowboys, it's big
almost panic stations,
trouble
isn't
at
it?
the Roosters. Yes.
Nah, Trent's been through this kind of stuff before.
I'd be panicking.
I'd be panicking.
I think Trent's tinkering, and I think Roosters.
What's he tinkering with? His side's not that new.
Well, Sam Walker and Luke Keary haven't played at all together. Literally, this is their
Luke
third
Keary's
game.
been in the club for...
As a 6. This is his first full year as a 7. He's played maybe 3 or 4 games. He's never had to lead the team around when it comes to structural stuff. It's been Cronk, then Flanagan. Then you've got Victor Radley, who has been in and out suspended. You've also got a new 9. Like they've lost Boyd Cordner, Jake Verrills
has been
Brothers,
there for fucking years.
and Orbison.
Crichton's been there for
Verrills
years.
hasn't been playing.
Tupanua, how long has he been there for?
Nah, this
Tilly's
is...
been moved to the other side. Crichton
You sound
was on
like
the
a
bench.
Roosters fan making excuses
Tedesco
right
been
now.
there
This
for
is
years.
some bullshit.
Okay.
Well, you
No,
got to
they're long
understand,
enough.
Verrills has got a fucking really busy uni
It's not
degree.
a
He's
new
trying to
side.
It's about combinations, though.
Verrills needs a distinction. He's like the other one's doing fucking plumbing. Who gives a shit?
Sure, I get that there's tinkering to be done, but there's tinkering to be done at all sides.
In every club, there's
They
tinkering,
lost
mate.
in the last 16 months or so. They lost Orbison, Jake Friend, Boyd Cordner, and both Morris brothers. That's like 1,000 games of experience. It's a lot.
So you're going to say $1 billion in a salary cap? They're fine, mate. They're either good
I know
or
they're
they're
fine.
not.
I'm the one saying they're fine.
No, I'm just saying you're making excuses.
Oh,
You're making
fucking hell.
excuses. We don't like excuses in rugby league, right? Your teams win, they lose.
I'm going Cowboys.
No excuses.
I'm going Cowboys.
Are you picking the cows?
Yeah, I really like what I've been seeing. Really like what I've been seeing. You got to remember that first game that they
That's right.
lost was only 2 points. Like it was like a close, gritty game.
To the Dogs.
Yeah, he's only beaten by a point.
That was a tough game, and they've improved a lot since then.
Fuck it.
No,
up.
but like, if you're going down that train of thought, you love the Cows good enough for them to beat the Roosters. The Cows lost to the Bulldogs. We beat the Bulldogs.
Yeah, by a point.
So you're calling us great.
No. I'm
Got
saying.
him. Got him. Got him.
Your mind's a pretzel now, bro.
Yeah,
okay.
we pretzeled him, dude.
Okay, you
We
got me.
pretzeled him.
You got me. Yeah, I'm going. I really like what I see at the Cowboys.
I would
really
like
what
to see the Cowboys win it. That'd be
It's
great
at
for the
home.
season. Don't
It
you think
was-
that'd be great
yeah.
for like the
Oh,
season
fucking oath.
storylines if the Cows dust
Trent
the
Robinson
Roosters?
can't go up because he's got the Rona.
Mate, if like on paper beat aside start knocking off the big boys, that's good for the game.
Well, they already
It's
have.
back into the it's back when that in rugby what 5, 6, 7 years ago when anyone could beat anyone.
Yeah, look, I just think Cowboys at home, they'll beat the Roosters. But if it was Roosters at home, I'd probably tip Roosters. But I don't know. I just like what I see with the Roosters. Cowboys. I know it's a risky bet, but Cowboys. What do you got?
Still gonna go the Roosters.
Roosters?
Yeah,
Roosters.
I just think
The bounce back after Rabbitohs?
too many weapons, bruh.
I mean, yeah, I would not be surprised if Roosters go up there and everything clicks for them and they can absolutely kill it because their roster. I just think that Trent's like tinkering with the way he wants to play, and once it clicks, he's just going to fucking explode people at the park. 2018, similar situation. They were struggling. He redid their whole attack. They went on and win the premiership.
Yep.
So by no means do I think it's panic station for Roosters fans at all. Just a growing phase with new halves and a new 9 at the moment. Storm versus Bulldogs.
Tough one. Really tough one.
Yeah, not really sure
This is a tough one.
where I'm gonna go here.
Really tough one.
Grant back.
He's
I
on the
mean,
bench.
what does
Holy
he?
shit.
What does Grant offer? Does he give much to the side?
I
She's
don't
off the
know.
bench. Does that
His coach.
Does that
his
do
coach
much?
overrated.
does that do much for the side in Melbourne? Is it? Is it
Grant
in
cheese
Melbourne?
coats, are they worth a fuck? I don't know.
Like, I mean, what? Maybe 5 or 6 points between the three of them.
if
Wouldn't
that-
be much.
I don't know. It's a tough one. Really tough one to go. I don't know. Maybe
I like what I saw out of the Dogs last week.
Hey,
Gritty,
they were a really
gritty,
good side.
gritty loss against the great
Gritty.
premiership quality
There's
side.
2 heavyweights. Can they back up after such a clash? So, you know, that's a tough one. It's a
It's
really tough
tough.
one.
I'm going Storm.
Yeah, I think I'll probably go to Storm.
Yeah.
I
Convinced
think
you?
I'll probably go to Storm.
Convinced you?
Yeah, no,
Yeah, I
you
think
convinced
you
me.
might have
I think
convinced
I'll go
me.
to
Okay.
Storm.
Eels Dragons. I'm going Eels.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if the Eels didn't win.
Do you think the Eels are better than the Manly side right now?
No.
If they played, who do you think wins?
Manly win.
I think Manly win and win well. I think that's a reality. The Eels, they looked alright against the Sharks in patches. The Dragons.
The Dragons.
The Dragons are the Dragons.
Dragons
right?
are the Dragons. I'd
They got
say the
pumped last
Eels.
week.
Tough
Eels
loss.
get
At
the
home
job
too.
done.
Yeah,
It was
Eels.
a tough loss. Thursday night footy, driving rain, bit of a derby, and it didn't go well for them. No.
All right, that is the show for the week. Make sure to follow Hello Sport on Instagram and Facebook, Punters and Dribblers group. Grab a case of Bloke in a bar, and a reminder, Bloke Shorts dropping 6 p.m. next Wednesday. Limited amount, so be there at 6 p.m. Open to everyone, so you can just go on, grab as many shorts as you want. And as usual, I'll go and fuck myself. Thank you.